weeks, but you guys remember where we left off. You are looking down some stairs into the nave of the temple here, where there are 3 illithid standing around a like an altar facing your direction. The rest of the place is emptied out. You are standing amidst the a couple dozen corpses of creatures that you just fought your way through. So in kind of a bloody mess right now, but otherwise the nave itself is empty except for the 3 illithid at the bottom there. And you do, of course, have Olowin, who is with you, is slightly in front. I'll go ahead and share the map for you guys again.
Thank you.
Let me know when that populates. Okay, good. It came up almost immediately for me, so hopefully it's going to work properly for everybody this time.
That's good. How tall is that wall that's right in front of us?
I'm not sure what you mean. So you're at the top of stairs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, farts.
Like that right there. I imagine what you just did. Just guessing based on the noise was you tried to right click and drag, didn't you? To move around the map.
Made it all weird.
All right, Fox. Yeah, that kind of stuff is just. I don't think I'll ever be able to get used to the weird way that images are handled in Fantasy Grounds, because it's just a pretty universal structure of how images work in practically any other app, and that's one of the nice things with Foundry too, is that it does work the way that you kind of expect it to. Partially because of screens, I think. I mean, we've gotten used to like how to move around an image on a phone and stuff, and that's kind of how modern web apps do it.
All right, I had to make it small size, and then it's so easy to accidentally like cover the entire, like make it so that you don't see any of the top or bottom of it. So then you have to like right click and be like, make smaller.
Yeah.
Window maybe. Yeah. I mean, so we're at the top
of
the stairs. Is there a wall on the left and right of us, or is
it
just
okay? So that's not. That's only probably 3.5 feet tall. So like slightly, you could peek over the top slightly if you were to stand behind it, kind of thing. But yeah, there's not a wall blocking your vision of the way down. It's just stairs down to the nave, and then stairs back up to like where the altar is, and the illithid there. And you, of course, if you scroll, if you zoom out even further, you can see the giant squid-like creature in the water, just still in the water, bobbing up and down a little bit, the tentacles swaying, all that stuff in the purple water of the bay. As a reminder, too, there is a ceiling above you. It's not the temple. This would be an open-air temple, but the cavern above you is still 40 to 50 feet up. Kind of fluctuates. It's a smooth, natural cavern, not a carved structure.
Is there any outside behind the giant octopus?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, behind him goes out into the ocean.
The ocean?
Yep. Let me know when you're back, Fox. By saying, oh yes, I heard that, I'm back now. Because obviously she would have, not been able to hear that part.
I am ready. You can still hear me, right? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I just put that up so that when Fox gets back, she can mark it off. So we know she's returned, since she couldn't actually hear me say that.
So yeah, the map is weird. Like, I can go to the right-hand side, and I can make it wider to the right. But you go to the left-hand side, and you can't make it wider to the left.
You have to drag it. Yeah, that's
this is
like
weird, goofy crap.
Yeah, there's little inconsistencies like that. Like, all of the functionality is there. It's just handled in such an unintuitive way, and so much of it is nested into the context menu, where you have the radial menu when you right-click on stuff, that you have to do multiple clicks for things that you probably shouldn't need to. Things that should be a little more simple to move. Like just panning around the map, you ought to be able to right-click and drag. Yeah. And not have to use the little button in the bottom right corner. So,
I'd like to imagine their conversation. It's like, should we just make it right-click and drag? Why? No one else does.
Well, that's the thing. Is
everyone else does. Nah. What if they don't have a third finger on their hand? We've got to make it available for everyone who doesn't have all their fingers.
But the software is older than phones. So cell phones popularized that kind of style of image navigation, and since the software was built before that, it was created before that. It was bought by Smiteworks, a company that owns it and develops it now. It was bought by them later, but the structure, the original code base is all done, and they don't have a simple method of going back and kind of rebuilding all of it. They literally have to rebuild it from the ground up, and they're not a large enough dev team to do that. But at the same time, Foundry is literally one person. One guy built it top to bottom, all of it.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I mean, so when you compare it to that kind of stuff, like as much as I have a lot of appreciation for the amount of time and money that Smiteworks has put into building Fantasy Grounds, I mean, when you compare it to stuff like that, where a modern web app that has all of, not all, but let's say the majority of the same features and a lot easier to navigate, is you kind of lose a little bit of pity for Smiteworks when it comes that far. One thing, where did that go? I had one other thing to mention, guys, before we get started here. Fox, you're back, right?
Yes.
Fox? Okay, all right. Let's see. I went over all of those. What was it I was not remembering to tell you? You guys have inspiration, don't forget that. Shit, what was it? There was something else important. It'll come to me, but it was something I was going to mention at the start of the game, and now I don't remember what it is. So hopefully it's not something with the retcon, because I don't think it was. I don't think it was anything narrative, but as soon as I remember to let you know. All right, so you guys are standing at the top of the stairs. Launder is off of your shoulder, Norak, off to the left of you a little bit. He's not hunched behind the wall. It's not quite tall enough for him to do that, but he is kind of, crouched down a little bit, like he's prepared to go to ground fast if he needs to. Olumen is out in front of you at the top of the stairs.
We all have bombs.
Well, yeah, so you guys each have one, and then Norak had, 4, I think? And then Launder has the remainder. So you guys have those, and then Pinocchio is still standing out in front of Pogo as well. It's sized up on the wall beside Artemy, so you guys can see it on the map, of course. So, what would you guys like to do?
Pogo would like to crouch behind the wall. Guys, I'm going to start singing a song on my banjo, and as long as you can hear it, you can't be charmed or frightened. I'm pretty sure. So, I'm gonna keep doing that, and then I think we should draw them out. And I'm gonna crouch behind the wall, probably right about here.
Okay.
And I'm gonna crouch down, and I'm just gonna start playing my banjo.
Okay.
And maybe singing a small ditty. Yeah, that one.
All right. I remember you talked about that last week. I don't remember what it is. It was
it's Counter Charm by Bard.
Okay,
I use it as my action for if we're in combat. I can use it as my action for each turn, and it just keeps it up until I choose to stop or I can't for some reason.
Okay. All right, then you flip over to the side there, kind of sit down against the wall, plucking at your banjo. All of you hearing very hillbilly music to serenade you into this. What are you doing? What was that?
I'm still downstairs.
Oh, in the gym?
Yeah, so it's probably equipment.
Oh.
Well, if we're supposed to, are we bringing them up here? Are we trying to lure them up here?
Oloin turns to the side. She says, I mean, really up to you. I don't know that they don't look like they're coming after us, but we need to come up with a plan fast because he's not going to wait.
Hit him with a fireball!
You can still, I think it doesn't take your, well, I mean, it is your action, but I don't think you can, you can still talk through it, I think.
I know, but I like to think that I'm singing a song at the same time.
Right.
Well, I don't have a fireball, but I have a firebolt.
I don't know, reach him? Just fucking hit him! Let's drag him up into our area. We've got a wall, they've got to go upstairs. We can stay away from this giant thing all the way down. Piss him off a little bit. Let's get him angry.
Yeah, actually, it'll just reach him.
We should also spread out because, remember last time.
Alright. Well, I can't move too far from here if I'm going to be able to hit this guy, so.
Are you on the broom?
Yes. No. You know what? No, I'm not.
Okay.
Do you guys remember on the last time they attacked, if we were behind a wall, that wouldn't have hit us, right? It was like some sort of lightning type thing.
No.
Oh, shit.
It was psychic. It doesn't have a visible representation.
Fuck. All right, fuck it. I mean, it's better than nothing. Might as well get him up here.
What are you doing, Becky?
I guess I'm going to throw a firebolt at the guy in front.
All right.
Take cover! Pinocchio, take cover!
All right, so he shambles his way over behind you, behind the wall. Sarah, stepping forward then to do that, or just from where you are?
I'm just peeking around Nora.
Okay.
If I have line of sight on this guy.
You do. He's just standing there. They're all three just standing there. In fact, they seem to be staring at you, but otherwise unperturbed.
Ooh, just in 120. Like they're about 105 feet ish.
Yeah. She just did an arrow here that was 110, I think, to get to him.
So
anything that can hit all of them?
seriously?
You send the small mote of fire. Don't you send 3 now, or is it just one that does more damage? It's 3 individual ones, right?
One that does more damage, I think. Roll a mote of fire. Yeah, it's just the damage that increases.
Okay, all right. Then you send a single mote that goes sailing over its head and kind of wisps out into the air behind him, just with the moisture in the air from the bay.
Yep, nope, and I am ducking behind Norok.
You notice as you send that over, the Illithid kind of watches it floating in his direction, seeing that it's going to go above his head, and just kind of watches it flow by his head until it's out of his view behind him, and then just kind of turns back and looks at you as it wisps out.
That's it? No other reaction?
Just standing there.
Fucking kill it!
Fine. Going over here. Do it again.
Who's got? Wait! I've got an idea. So I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna pause my
Your song?
My song.
It's not. It's
no,
not
I
like
can't do
does it take an inspiration or anything to do it?
No. It's just as an action.
You
and we're not in
you can
battle.
just do it, and you can always restart it again. Okay.
But I don't have a way to hit them from 120 feet. Really, nothing that's worth it. Can anyone just lob something else at him to piss him off? Any cantrips? Any cantrips
I
that
could
can
use
just
my
knock
sharp
him?
bow.
Fucking why not? Let's do it.
Let's see. I don't know. You didn't have him targeted. I don't remember their AC off the top of my head. It is you draw. You pull the bow, string it real quick, draw it all in one action, and fire an arrow out over them. And similarly, it goes sailing right over its head and disappears into the water.
Fine.
All right.
Firebolt.
Let's keep doing it.
Hey, there you go. You fling a firebolt in its direction. The Illithid, kind of staring at it as it comes near, lifts his hand up and just waves it through the air as it would otherwise connect with him. He's impacted it, and it doesn't appear to have harmed him at all.
I think we might be in trouble, guys.
Similar to like the way that your shield spell works.
I'm just gonna.
I'm gonna try to keep throwing, I guess, arrows.
Keep firing
at it.
arrows. Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, 3 suggestion.
Okay. The first one kind of sails in the direction of the one on the right, kind of the one that's in line with you almost. And similarly, as soon as it gets in the air, he kind of flicks a finger and it ricochets off of empty air as if it hit something and plinks off into the water. Second one just sails past, and third one he flicks with his other hand and it similarly bounces off.
So range is not gonna work.
Yeah, I mean, if magic doesn't work and range doesn't work, I'm thinking we should just leave. Let's go make that portal and just get out of here. Fuck it.
Olwen just scowls at you. She says, "We came here for a reason. You promised."
All right, I'm gonna turn to Pinocchio. And I'm going to.
You've got to save us, buddy.
I'm going to pull this bomb out of my bag, and I'm going to put it in his hands. Such a terrible idea. Maybe not. No. Just kidding, Pinocchio. I'm going to put it back in my bag. I don't know what to do, guys.
Okay, I mean, he has a personality, but he is... It's a different one every time you make them. I guess I'll put it to you this way. If Arteme were to do this with Sai would be furious with her, and it would cause narrative problems. Sure. If you make another Briarling, if you blow this one up and you make another one, it's not the same one. He's not going to remember that you were a dick to him and sacrificed him.
Oh, I know. I'm just not sure if he could do it, and I don't want it to get halfway.
Okay.
There is no way I would use Sai for something like that.
For a suicide bomber?
Yes. Are you crazy? She's too adorable.
But she comes from the land where kamikaze is a thing. It's like she's pre-prepared for it. That was vaguely racist, guys.
All right. I am going to Fuck. I am going to tell Pinocchio to follow me, and I am going to keep singing my song, and I'm going to run up and get behind one of these chair items. And are these?
They're pews. They're like they're like church pews. So they're tall enough that you could get behind them for sure.
So these statues that are on the sides, is there anything strange about them? I feel like there's something else going on here that I'm not seeing.
They just appear to be statues. Are you doing reps, G? What are you doing?
Slowly masturbating?
No, I think he's doing reps. If he's in the gym, he's probably doing something.
Yeah. I got my weights. I can join you.
What'd you say, G?
I said I'm walking, so you probably hear me.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
All
right. All right, so you're getting behind the pew and doing what? Just looking at the statues?
Oh, what's this distance here?
Ooh, I'm gonna throw a smoke bomb at them.
Okay. I think you still have 2, right?
I have 4. I never
Okay.
used them. I forgot I had these.
Yeah. The smoke screen bombs? Okay. Let's see. Do me a favor, roll an athletics check for a throw.
Oh, actually, wait. Can I get Norok to throw it?
You can. I mean, it's up to bed.
Would you mind throwing this? I'm just.
Nice.
Can you mute yourself, G? At least until you're sitting down.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Is
Sure.
that a yes
Okay.
for Norok?
I think he said yes, but I mean, he'll need to respond, but...
Yes.
Okay. So I'll give him the smoke screen bomb and ask him to throw it.
Is it athletics?
Yeah, make an athletics check for Becky, if you don't mind rolling it for him. Do you have his laptop in front of you or something?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then Norok, the Arteme hands you a small, kind of soft, like it's not shelled like the explosive bombs, but almost like a bag of rice, like a wedding bag of rice kind of thing. And you launch it over the, let's see, 120 feet. Yeah, that'd be within your possible throw anyway, especially with the 21. It lands in about the midst. I'll call it about here. It's and erupts. What is the radius around it? Oh, 10-foot radius. All right. Well, in that case, he probably would have aimed further. So we'll just, if it's a 10-foot radius, it'll be. Oops. There we go. 15. Sorry. Not real big, but enough to envelop this much space. So it lands at the foot of the Elithid in the center and blows up around him, obscuring him slightly.
Okay.
Pogo, you can see this from the base of the stairs there.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and hit him with another arrow now that he's obscured.
Okay. Go ahead and make your roll, but this time with disadvantage.
Because you also can't see him.
Yeah, he's obscured now. You know generally where he was, but it's just harder to kind of make that pinpointed aim.
Hey!
The arrow sinks in through the smoke. You don't see any further reaction. Go ahead and roll damage on it. You don't see or hear anything else other than the small dispersion of smoke as the arrow passes through it.
You know what? With that smoke screen, I'm going to pause my song, and I'm going to cast Shatter at level 3. Oh, can I get there? Hold on. Nope. I'm going to apparently move up a pew. I'm going to move up 1 pew as deftly as I can. And
you have Pinocchio follow you? Okay.
yeah, just follow me, Pinocchio. Stay on my 6. And then I'm going to cast Shatter at level 3, which I think... I just want to double check something here. Yeah. So I'm going to cast it. I'm going to cast it right in between the Elithid on the right and the Elithid in the front.
Okay.
So right...
Go ahead and target them both, and then it'll automatically do a con save for them.
Okay.
When you click the cast button, it'll automatically do the con save.
And then how do I cast this up at level 3?
Actually, when you do that, well, you know what? Actually, the save doesn't change, so you just click the cast button first.
Okay.
They both succeeded. One got a 16, one got a 17. What's your DC?
Lame.
16 is okay. Yeah, so they just beat it. One rolled a 15, one rolled a 16. They both have a +1. So
Does this one do
16,
half
17 total.
damage?
It does half damage. Yeah.
So it's 4d8 at
So,
level
well,
3?
yeah. So what you would do is, I think you hold Shift and then click the damage button to pick it. Hang on. If I do it. Whoa. I guess Shift as an automatic crit is what it would do. All right, I'm gonna have to fix that. Let me take that back off because I guess holding Shift would be a way to tell it to roll it as a crit. But maybe it's Control and click it to add another one. Okay, so here's what it is. Click the damage, but don't click and drag.
Yeah, right click.
And then right click to add one die. Yeah.
There it is. Big money. 12.
All right, a cacophonous explosion of thunder blasts in the altar that's rattling off some of the materials that are on the altar behind them as they kind of bounce against the altar and then fall off and off the back. You see the illithid that is visible to you still get kind of blasted away a little bit, not enough to knock him down, but he kind of covers his face a little bit and pushes off to one side and spins slightly just to avoid the blast. The smoke is dispersed slightly from the blast radius around it. Still appears to be obscuring whatever might be inside, and that is the only reaction you see for half a second, and then bright purplish light in the shape of two eye, the eye beam type shapes, like flashlights shining out from the smoke, appear looking upwards out of the smoke. And there is a kind of a garbling sound, and then you see the illithid that you had seen previously. Obviously, you guys are still seeing it, slightly larger, beginning to float out of the smoke in your direction.
Hey, they're doing stuff now, and then I go back to singing my fucking song.
All right, everybody, give me initiative.
Not sure if this is a great idea, but it's an idea.
All right, Ben, are you actually sitting down now?
Not quite yet, but I'll roll one.
All right.
Big money, no whammies.
We need to push it.
Oh, just kidding. Let's roll that again.
Yeah, one.
Not bad.
Norok has advantage on initiative rolls
Alright.
because of his shield. 16 or a 19. All right, so we'll just keep the new one.
Time to get down here, guys!
Fox, that 14 was Psy, right?
Yes.
So 16 total for her? Okay.
I gotta roll for Pinox, too.
Yep.
Do you know what his modifier is?
Let's
I can
see.
look it up if you don't know. Ooh, not
It
great.
is... Shit, it's a 17, so it'll be 3. So 6 total for Pinocchio.
6 for the Noaks.
All right. We are all set there then. So that actually already happened. It is Artemis' turn.
Okay.
Let's clear them out one by one, guys.
Gonna hit it again with the chocolate.
Okay. The one that is now moved out of the smoke. All right, that hits.
Yeah! Look at that.
He is floating through the air, lifting. You've seen them elevated before, anyways, levitating. But he's slightly appears slightly larger, and you realize that it's not even his actual form. His physical form is still the same, but there's almost this illusory shape around him that is vaguely blurry. Looks like it'll be harder to hit with the kind of elevated powers that he has been given. You guys understand what's happening there, right? When their eyes turn this kind of purplish color and they start floating and everything.
Yeah, they're getting controlled.
Yeah. So and there's extra powers that they've been given when they are under his control like that. Okay. But it did hit him. The arrow sinks into what you expect should be the shoulder, although it kind of disappears inside of this blurry shape. And he doesn't appear to be responding to it. It does. I mean, it did sink in. You imagine it probably must have hurt, but he's still floating in your direction. Any bonus actions or movement?
Not yet.
staying right there on the corner then? All right, then it is Norok's turn. Do we need to change the, do we need to bump the time back or something, G? Because, the last while, you're not sitting down and ready to play.
No, that's just me. Sorry, being slow. So. Alright.
I would say, yeah, that's still just 5 feet to get past her, so go ahead.
Okay.
She's not trying to get in your way, and she was kind of leaned against the wall, so you can still get past her easily.
Remember, don't bundle up. Separate, scatter, scatter, scatter.
Were you sad, Justin, that you didn't get to use that against us?
The breath? Nah.
Yeah.
It's all comes down to the rolls.
Yeah.
I like to play it very, true to form. Game of fate.
Yeah.
Rage.
We're looking at 22.
That missed it. You just charging down the stairs, launching it over your shoulder as you go. It spins end over end, just far above him. It looks like it probably should have, but for some reason the trajectory was completely off for what your aim thought you should have hit him. But it sailed well above him, and it's still kind of flinging end over end. You pulling it back?
Yeah.
All right. You yank it back, then that smacks into your hand with just the additional weight. What do you? Let's see. That's your action, and that was the only throw you throw is just a single action. Any bonus actions then? I guess bonus action was rage, wasn't it?
Yeah, I already did. So
Okay.
I'm going to.
Okay. You hearing or seeing all of this as Nora comes charging down, Olowin points up at the ceiling above you, and she shouts, "Look! Up! Look!" And it just looking up there, probably other than Norok. Norok's focused on charging down this, especially in a rage. The rest of you looking up the ceiling of this cave, this open air cavern above you. Up above the squid-like warrior in the distance there, you see the squad of elven archers are up there, and they're upside down, stuck to the ceiling as if it were the floor. And they're scurrying around behind these stalactites that are up there, and they're popping into view every few seconds and firing off arrows at the warrior, at the squid. Amongst them, Arteme, specifically with your eyes, you'd be able to pick out. You do see Sandway, the Morgan Chief's daughter. Hang on, is that a little bit loud? Was that music too loud, guys?
It's not bad.
I'm
Okay.
not hearing it.
That it's not too loud for you. You're golden.
Everybody else is hearing it, though, right? Justin, you said it's not too bad for you. It was a little bit loud on my end, so okay.
Get me
Fox,
pumped.
Fox, right-click on BGM in Discord and make sure the volume is set to at least 100, but you may need to bump it up a little bit then.
Okay, now it's 150.
Okay. Can you hear it now?
Restart Discord.
Not exactly, no. It's weird. I put it to 200 and still nothing.
Still nothing? You don't have it muted, obviously, right?
It's not muted, no.
BGM, not BGS?
Yeah, BGM is at 200. There's nothing.
Ben and Becky, you guys hearing it?
Yeah, sounds fine.
What did you do, Fox?
What'd you do?
It's
yeah.
probably like a licensing issue for Canadians.
Canada, yeah. They don't get to use,
Ha, ha, ha.
they don't get to use audio.
No, the other day I accidentally ripped out my headset from my computer because I tripped over the cord. And I didn't notice that my mic was half unplugged.
Like the part of the cable was loose, or
Yeah,
or
no,
what?
yeah, part of the cable was loose, and then the mic jack was halfway out, like popping out.
You have
No wonder
particularly
people can hear
awful. Yeah, you have particularly awful luck when it comes to destroying headsets.
Yeah, that's how I destroyed my one USB port, was accidentally ripping a headset.
Oh, that sucks. Well, it's. I mean, the music isn't anything too important. It was just loud on my end, so I turned it down a little bit on my side. But as long as you're okay, without hearing it, would drive me nuts. But
It kind of is because I've been used to playing games with music now, so it's just like, okay, there's no music.
yeah, well, I mean, I always have it playing. I mean, you heard it, previous weeks, right? It's been normal lately. It's just
Just today I'm not hearing it.
okay. Well, I mean, if you want, we'll take a break in a little while, and you can restart Discord or something, at least see if you can get it. But what you guys do see, though, Arteme, up there, you do recognize Sandway, the Morgan Chief's daughter, is up there, and she appears to be channeling a spell of some kind. And around the feet, it's very subtle, but around the feet of each of the elves that are up there, it's this kind of green-tinged arcane magic. That kind of similar green glow is around all of the elves as to what she's channeling. But you see Therese and the other elves are hammering at the base of the stalactite that they're behind with pickaxes directly above the squid out there.
Oh, there's stalagmites.
Stalactites. Mites from the ground. Tights from the ceiling. Stalactites.
And I'm just wasting my shatter spell, although I guess I don't want to do that if there's a bunch of elves all around.
Well, they're not over the Isoquendi. They're not over the Illithid, rather. They're over the squid. They're over the warrior out in the bay. So they're quite a bit further away. But a pair of them are firing arrows out here, trying to help you guys out, or at least trying to attack these Illithid as well. So that'll miss. That's a 9, and that's a 19. So that one will hit. One of the Illithid gets an arrow, sinks into its back. Pogo, you see this easily. Norak, you're probably too enraged, but basically, the majority of you guys can actually see that the other Illithid, who has not been otherwise injured, was hit in the back by an arrow. And that is it for their turn. It is 22's turn. It is lifted up quite a bit off of the ground to being well above Norak's eye level, even at 7.5, 8 feet. It is going to... It's going to move just slightly further forward and then stop and turn in this direction here. Actually, it probably would have to be slightly further back. Let me see. And it is... Do a 60-foot cone. Shit. Okay, he'd have to be there. So he floats over the pews to get a decent angle. Well, that'll help for one part of it, but the other is give me an intelligence save, guys, for Norak, Pogo, and Pinocchio.
Real bad for me and Pinocchio. 13, and Pinocchio is going to get a...
15 you have to beat.
Pinocchio will not beat it.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have any intelligence. His intelligence is... it's a 13, so it would have been a +1. So
yeah, good job, smart Norak.
It is still half damage, though. So the blast is 4d8 plus 4 psychic. So 17 damage in half. So that's not that bad, except for the part where you
Pinocchio!
Yeah, I think that'll wipe up Pinocchio, won't it?
I think so.
Let's see. Oh, he had 20 hit points actually.
Oh yes.
Yep. So he's still up, but the Mind Flayer kind of lifting out forward, holds his hands, these kind of long, spindly fingers with one extra knuckle on each, around its mouth, as if it's around the kind of tentacle mouth, as if it's like a megaphone, like he's trying to amplify a voice. And nothing comes out, but he leans forward, and a blitzing headache blasts through the three of you. And Pogo, you feel your central nervous system just freeze, and you are immediately kind of shivering in place and frozen, unable to respond. You are stunned.
Oh, darn it.
And
stunning.
Nope. So Pogo, and that was the effect. Like, you knew that already, because that happened to Olowin and Launder, and I think Norak was stunned for one round last time too.
Mostly, I just didn't want any of us to go try to drown ourselves in the fucking ocean.
So that's not a bad defensive mechanism. That was certainly a very good idea. It's just, at least at this particular point, that was not what the impact was going to be. But I got to apply the damage to Pogo as well. That's one of the things too, guys. You will be able to help me out a little bit, because with Foundry, you'll do all that on your own, so I won't have to do it all, which will be nice. But it kind of, I don't know, it's a little more involved for you guys too. Like, when we play at the table, everybody does their own math, and that's essentially what will be happening. Is you guys will be, doing that yourselves instead of me having to do it. You don't have to do the math, actually. You literally would just type -17 on your hit points, and it'll automatically do everything for you. but you can kind of track your own stats that way, and I don't have to do it all. That, and then he is going to... I'm going to put that back. He... After the cone, snaps his fingers, and he is gone. And that is it for his turn. It is Olwyn's turn. You hear her shriek, and she floats down the stairs behind Norok. Let's see how it's 30. She can only get to about here, floating directly over the pews there, and swinging an arm like throwing a baseball at the Illithid out there. You see a kind of a small swirling ball of wind go sailing past him. Doesn't hit anybody. It is Sai's turn.
So it's the two of them. It's 30 and 1.
Yeah, as far as what you can see, 30 and 1 are still there, and 22 disappeared. The one that is being controlled disappeared.
Okay.
We have ribs, though.
She's gonna go over here. For now.
Okay. So she rushes down the stairs and then ducks behind the pew over beside Pogo. That it for her turn?
Yep.
Okay. This one, the one that took an arrow to the back here, is going to fly forward there. Let's see how far. All right, so he about there, similar to the last. Oops.
Except now, seeing that these two are still moving is going to aim at Norok and
Olwyn. The cone for both of them. Ben, go ahead and make another intelligence save. Get a 15. Don't forget, you guys have your inspiration too if you guys need it. I don't remember which one you all chose. But... Oh shit! I was holding Alt. Yeah, that wasn't on purpose. I was holding Alt for.
It's so fun though.
I was just wondering.
All right, guys, go ahead and roll for a save here. Did I just miss something? What just happened? Because Norok's not stunned, right? Or is he?
No, but he was from before.
Hang on. All right, you guys can hear me now, right?
Yep.
All right, cool. There we go. You might hear that from time to time anyways. If I hold that Alt. The Alt is a cone, a draw cone in Fantasy Grounds. And I was drawing the cone because the second Illithid comes forward and similarly blasts out another massive headache. This time getting Olwyn and Norok. Norok got a 4, which is that's what the goal
Just
was.
a heads up, Jeremy, your audio is doing like a weird cutout thing now.
Like, can you give me an idea of how we cut out?
You're talking, and then it gets
Oh, right.
like that. It's
Is
just
it
cutting.
Still the same,
We're
or
getting every second syllable.
Yeah, it's syllabic.
how about now? Is it any different?
Way better.
Better.
Okay. All right. I just turned it off for now, so hopefully the thing is that app I need running for something else. So it's one. I have a very sensitive audio system, so anytime I make any changes at all, I end up having to fucking reload everything. So hopefully that'll work better for now. All right. Everything's still clear, right?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. So the second Illithid, though, the one that took an arrow in the back, floats down the stairs, floats over the wall portion of it there, off of the altar, and then holds its hands up to do another kind of this is a mind blast. This is the Illithid's mind blast that hits Norok and Olwyn. I got to roll for Olwyn here, but Norok got adjusting the question you asked about. Did I miss something?
Yeah, it was the why he was rolling 4. I didn't realize the
Yeah.
Illithid had moved.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah, the other Illithid had come down and blasted at Norok and Olwyn. If I can find it, there it is. Olwyn succeeds. She got a 22, but Norok is hit with the 48 plus 4 for 22 damage against Norok, and half damage against Wait, why did you have 17 missing? Were you? Oh, that was still injuries from the last fight. Reggie? Hang on, you might have been muted. Say that again.
Oh, sorry, I was just away from the phone. I just said it was that other thing that the other livid, I think.
Well, you took half damage from that, though, not full damage, so... But you got hit in the last fight, though, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, I probably did after that. Yeah.
Okay, then it must have just...
No, because he would have been healed. Oh, no, I get it. He was hit in the last... I forgot. Yep.
Yeah, with one of the claw guys grabbed him on the hip, if I remember right.
Yeah.
All right, and then half damage to Olowin, and that is it for his turn. He moved all his distance to get there, so he's just floating in midair, still there. It is Pogo's turn. You are stunned.
I am stunned.
Yeah, you
roll to get out of it at the beginning, or
let me check it. I think it's at the end, but let me double check it here. It is. Mind Flayer magically emits psychic energy in a 60-foot cone. Each creature in the area must succeed on a DC 15 intelligence save. Takes 48 plus 4 psychic damage or be stunned for 1 minute on a failed save. Creature can repeat the save at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on its success.
And boom! No, that did not roll. And boom! What's happening? Why are you not rolling?
Yeah, I haven't seen it. There we go. There we go. Got it.
Parts.
By 1 remaining stun.
This headache!
All right, hang on. I gotta apply that real quick. Where did that go? It's 11. All right. As you guys are seeing all of this of the second Illithid coming down, sending a cone over Olowin and Norok, there is the sound of air being sucked out of a space nearby. Norok, over your left shoulder. Arteme and Sarah, you guys have a clear shot of this because it is almost eye level with you. The statue in front of you to the left, there is that sucking in sound of a vacuum that sucks in and then immediately explodes on the head, like standing on top of the head of the statue, with a blue circle around the base, as if it was like a halo surrounding the head of the statue there, and then apparating in the middle of that circle, standing on the head of the statue there, is Ozzy, appearing on the... But that's an action, so that is it. Yeah, he appears on the top of the statue, preparing to defend himself, but that's it. It is the other Illithid's turn.
Did somebody call him? What is happening?
All right, the other Illithid floating forward. Let's see. He can't get that far. He's already there, so he can
What's
get...
taking so long, guys?
Here.
Oh, hey. We're a little busy.
Whoops. All right, it's just going to be Pogo and Pinocchio again. Pogo, you... Well, intelligence saves, you're still able to make that even if you're stunned, because it's not a physical reaction, so I would say you still get to make it. Go ahead and make a DC 15 intelligence save.
Oh, I already did. 13 plus 1, I got a 14.
No, this is another one. This is a third one in a row.
What? Okay. Neat.
It's all three of the Illithid, all three tried this. Hey, all right.
There it is.
This one is at least half damage, so it'll still hit you, but it's at least half.
Oh, I'm getting attacked. Okay, I did not realize I was getting attacked.
It's another one. It's another of the cones, but at least this one rolled higher. It was 29, but you will only take half for 14. Pinocchio is toast.
Yeah.
He is explodes in a bundle of sticks and coral, and Pogo takes 14 more damage, which puts you to 40 damage out of 61. That is also as far as he can get, and he's not going to use a bonus action. It is Sarah's turn.
Great. So I have a question.
Yep.
So when I summon Shan,
Mhm.
it says that it targets a creature that I can see, but yet farther down, it says at the start of its turn, the hound automatically knows its target's location. If the target was hidden, it is no longer hidden from the hound. So do I need to be able to see the guy?
You do. You still have to be able to see it to put it out. Okay, how that would work is if you'd already had Shan out already attacking an Illithid that then disappeared, then she would still be able to attack it. But at the initiation, you have to be able to see it. Is how that reads.
Okay. I'm going to save that. Alright. We're gonna cast some Chaos Bolt.
Okay.
Or not.
Wait. I'm not stunned anymore.
Oh wait.
Yeah, you are. You're
Oh,
still stunned.
Am I still stunned? I thought I rolled high
Yeah,
on
you did.
intelligence.
No. That second roll was just to see if you would avoid
never
half the
mind.
damage. That wasn't to try to break out. You had already tried your breakout.
Ooh.
You weren't stunned a second time, basically. So,
Got it.
no such thing. So
Oh, but I can do it.
yeah, you can do it for yourself using your reaction.
Right then. Yay!
Hey!
Fuck yes.
That went as well as it could have.
Alright, so
Oh,
that, and
shit.
then
These guys are not super healthy, as you guys saw. That is a good chunk of their health.
I can't tell. Is that a double 8?
Yeah, well, no, the first two are both 8s because of the crit, so the other two are a 4 and a 6.
Right. Poison, I guess.
Was that poison?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you, standing near the top of the stairs there, vaguely distracted for a moment by the appearance of Ozzy, fling out like a frisbee-ish shape of a poisonous bolt that flies in the direction of, that's the one on the left, right? Yeah, 30. Who is still floating above the pew there, and this kind of vaguely frisbee-ish shape over this distance, going as far as it is, begins to flatten and sharpen nearly in the air, becoming disc-like almost, until it sails through the neck of the illithid there, splitting square through the neck, and the head kind of just limply falls off the back and then splots into the ground. He's still floating in midair there, headless.
That's super creepy, and I'm going to duck back over here behind this one.
Okay. Still kind of bobbing in place, like just gently lifting up and down from the levitation. All right, it is Launder's turn. Sarah's not wounded. Arteme is not wounded. He can't see any wounds on Norok, but has seen Norok kind of freeze in place and appear to have been injured. So just from the kind of context clues, we'll try to assume that maybe he's been injured. Steps out and is going to throw a healing word, not seeing blood or anything, just assuming that it must not be too severe. He's going to throw healing word with his bonus action, which is not a lot, G, but it'll give you a little bit. 8 plus 4, so 12 total.
I'll tell him something.
Well, you won't tell him anything because you're still frozen, but...
I'll mumble it in my mind.
I forgot to put the stone on you. Oh, well, I just put it on you, but now it looks like Launder did it. So, after that is going to sends out the healing word in your direction, and then you hear him sparking like a little flint, the grit kind that make a spark, and then lobs a bomb out in that direction there. I have to make a check for him because he's not super strong.
Watch him just hitting the rock in the fucking head.
I think I got a 9, but I mean, it was just to lob it, to see distance wise, so that's still okay as far as his. I mean, he's stronger than average because he has a Worgen anyway. But is that that's a 16? Yeah, so he's quite a bit stronger than average. Never mind. I wasn't thinking because he's a priest, but I guess the Worgen stats are higher. Blast radius. There we go. Enough that he can hit that guy at least. For the bomb explodes, rattling the ground and blowing away the remainder of the smoke that was there. The floating form of the illithid there, the now headless illithid, is blasted away from it a little bit, kind of pushed away from the explosion, and then just kind of slows and then still continues to float in place, slightly off from it. Clearly injured and burned along that side from the blast, but still appears to be at least somewhat animate. 11 more. Here we go. That is it for Launder's turn. All right, that continues from there. You guys can't see that. In the distance, if anyone were paying attention to the bay, you do see more tentacles lifting up out of the water near the stairs, like basically as close to you guys as they can get. They don't appear to be able to reach you as far as you can tell. At least they're not high enough out of the water to be able to get in your direction. And that is as much as you guys can see for now. It is Arteme's turn.
I guess the pews would be in the way.
Well, no, actually, so you're up pretty high. You're well above the pews. You are eye level with the top of the statues, which are 12 feet. So you can see Ozzy like eye level to you off to the left, and then those stairs that are in front of you go down. So all the pews in like Norok's head, all that stuff is well below you.
Okay, I'll try with the bow.
Okay. Who are you firing at?
30. I targeted him.
Okay. He is headless and now slightly burned along one side, and the arrow hits him square in the chest. He does not. I mean, he kind of the arms lift up, and you know the looks like it's reacting, but there's no head to see any kind of emotional response if there would be one. Go ahead and roll your damage. He's pretty wounded, as far as you can tell. It like this body's been pretty badly mangled already, having been blown up with a bomb and his head chopped off. Any bonus actions?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull out Healing Spirit.
Okay.
Right on Norok.
Thank you. And let me get your token. There you go. You're dropping it on like right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Then your green translucent Coloran appears there, touching Norok. You can go ahead and roll that. There you go. Any movement?
No, not yet. And
Okay.
I have a pretty good view of the field right now.
Okay. Then it is Norok's turn. G, you are still stunned, so go ahead and make your intelligence save to see if you can break out. It's at the end of your turn, but worth a shot.
Well, the rest of my turn is just sitting there silently, so I guess I'll just go ahead and roll it now.
With a 7 and no modifier, so nope, still stunned.
No, not for that.
That lasts for 1 minute, guys, unless you break them out or if they make their save. So,
Was it a spell effect or like a natural ability?
it's an ability, not a spell. It's a mind blast on an illithid. Yeah. All right. Pogo, you hear a commotion behind you, the sound of cloth rattling, just enough to look over your shoulder and see a very large, slightly blurry illithid appear directly behind you, grabbing your shoulders and lifting you up, and the tendrils of its mouth you feel on the back of your neck, its mouth tentacles, like it's trying to grab onto the back of your head. You are currently stunned still, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Luckily, this is Pogo's fetish, so it's cool.
To have your brain extracted?
No, just have his tentacles just slapping against the back of his fucking head.
That is a 26.
Who doesn't like a little slap and tickle? Am I right?
That is 10. I'm sorry, 19 plus 7 for a 26, which does hit.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
Guys, the rest of you, Pogo or Norok, just out of the looking, you're frozen in place, but looking through the right side of your eye, you see this illithid reappear behind Pogo, grab him, lift him up, and take the back of Pogo's head, kind of pushes the hat of disguise off, and you hear a crunching sound as its osprey, octopus-like mouth sinks into the back of Pogo's head. That is 53 damage.
Oh shit! I might. Oh no, I'm not dead. I have 61 hit points. I'm good.
Yeah, it's 10d10 piercing. As it begins to extract Pogo's brain, Pogo is unconscious. It is Olwen's turn. You hear her shriek and shit. I think we've had this discussion before about shaking somebody out of it, and I think I've landed on that shaking somebody out of a stun like this takes your action, right?
Yeah.
That's unfair. Not a bonus action, but take a full action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
I think so.
I think that's the way that we've done it in the past, and that sounds the most
Almost
fair to me now.
positive.
Yeah, that sounds right, and that seems the most fair. I think that her personal rage would outweigh her trying to kind of shake Norok out of it, and since she can't do it as a bonus action, she's going to float past Norok and try to blast away the illithid that is eating Pogo's brain. You see her swing an arm out in front of her with the kind of horizontal Sonic Boom style blast, which definitely sails through the center of this creature, knocking him away. Pogo, you're still grappled by it, so you kind of float with it.
Drop. Oh, I'm still grappled. Got it.
Well, you know what? Actually, it is a crit. So by default, it should just knock him away. But she got a natural 20. So it should just knock him away as far as the roll. But since it was a natural 20, I would say he probably, because the injury would be enough to because it'd be 36 damage. Does blast him far enough away that he probably does drop you. You are still severely wounded and bleeding from a massive head wound currently, but at least you're not having your brains chewed on at the moment. That's a pretty good wound for him too. All right, it is Sai's turn.
Okay, she's gonna try and poke at Nora.
Okay. You know what? I would say that as an action, that's still fair. That she can still do that.
She's gonna paw at him to try and break him out of it. So
I would say she probably has to
pawing at his foot.
Yeah, I would say that it takes a little bit more of a violent, like a physical shaking. Not enough that would normally injure, but she probably has to break skin, biting his ankle, kind of thing. But not enough to really hurt him. Not enough to actually do any damage. But certainly bite hard enough onto an ankle or something to snap him out of it. Norak, you are snapped out of the stun, kind of looking around and taking a measure of the situation. Things look quite bad. There was a very quickly, rapidly growing pool of blood behind the pew to your right, but you are no longer stunned. Any bonus actions for Sai?
I'm gonna move back a tiny bit.
Okay.
I do not want to get eaten.
I don't know that any of you want to. I don't know if that's
I don't think any of us do.
All right. The now head. Well, let's see. You know what? I'm gonna say that it still works. The headless Illithid. So Justin, you know what that D6 was that is rolled in the background there, but he got a 6. Now that Justin's been DMing now for last week was 20 sessions, by the way, Justin.
That's awesome.
Thursday was. So the Illithid, burned, arrow sticking out of its chest, currently decapitated, floats down towards the ground, reaches down, lifts up his head. I'm going to call that his item interaction. And then holding his head out in his hand, just lifts, palming his head like a basketball, holds it out in your direction. And he got his Mind Blast back, so it is going to be Mind Blasting against Olowin and Norak again.
Man, you gotta admit, these guys have a pretty good chin on them, don't they? Pretty impressive chin. Good in the ring.
I mean, it's extra funny because they almost don't even have one. It's all just pinnacle stuff. So it's good on 3 levels instead of just 2.
Yeah.
All right, intelligence save 15 for Norak, and you're immune to the stun now, by the way, for the rest of the day. If you've been hit by it, so for at least 24 hours you are immune to the stun. But intelligence save for Norak, and I got to make one for Olowin, just to see if it'll do half damage. Olowin got a 19, and okay, all right, so half damage for both of you. 22 and half is 11. All right. Let me apply it for her, and it is Pogo's turn. Guess what time it is, Justin?
Death roll time?
Yep, death time.
Let's do it. Oh, I forgot where that is on here.
Main page, main tab, down in the bottom center.
There it is. Not great.
Failure.
Not great.
This is not off to a great start for you guys.
I don't think I've done anything yet. I think I got stunned before my first turn.
You were playing the song, and then you.
But the only thing I did was pre-combat. Yeah, in combat, I have done nothing. Yeah. I'm quite useless right now.
Ozzy standing on Norak. You now see him, of course, recognize that he's there. Shouting, just unintelligible, like battle roar type things. Is going to from here send. Let's see. Oh shit! No, he can't get that angle. He's going to. He's going to lightning bolt the one that just picked its head up directly in front of him, and you see just a blast of electricity travel through. If I can find it, there it is. A dex save of 17. You got a 6. He failed. 8d6 lightning. The bolt of lightning, Ozzy sends through the head, the extended head being palmed by this Illithid, and the head, the kind of octopus-like skull just explodes in its hand, and the creature goes limp and just falls to the ground, no longer floating. Ozzy then jumps down. That's going to be at least half, so he can't get very far. Running towards Norok, trying to assist, and that is it for his turn. It is... Oh! Well... so that one got a 6 as well. So this is where Justin, where yours was going real good for us, this one's going real bad for you guys.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
The good news is Fox Arteme still has a bunch of arrows, so I think we're good, guys.
Well, our healing spirit is there if it can get to you in time. But first, it is. I mean, it's really the only thing it would do. It's trying to kill you guys due to the direction it's been given, which is Pogo, Olowin, and Norok again, and Ozzy. So go ahead and make it. Well, it won't be an
Here's
intelligence.
the question: Can I get hit with that psychic attack if I am
You know,
unconscious?
That's actually I was just about to say that actually is that it specifically is
You have
psychic
to be able
damage.
to hear it.
And it's not a matter of being able to hear. It's specifically you'd have to be conscious for it to matter because it's psychic damage. It's not, it wouldn't be giving you like a nightmare and you're unconscious right now. So I would say that in that case, it can't do damage to you and you can't be stunned. So in that case, it won't be an auto-failed death save. Norok, give me another intelligence save. Again, you're immune to the stun, but we'll see if you get the half damage or not. Right, so full damage, and then I got to do Olowin and Ozzy. Olowin 10, Ozzy 10. So both of them take full damage. It doesn't hit that hard, thankfully, but it does add up when you have multiple. All right, that's 11, which makes 45 for Norok. Norok is at half health just from being blasted with psychic damage. 11 on Ozzy, and 33 now total for Olowin. All right, that is it for his turn. He's not going to use bonus actions. It is Sarah's turn.
Right.
You can't quite see Pogo from your angle because the pews are too tall and he's not. He's very short and also laying, kind of bleeding out on the ground. But with Olowin's scream and having seen the Illithid lift him up and begin to crunch into the back of his head and then drop him, you can kind of gather what's going on.
Okay. So I am going to. Let's miss this step 30 feet, I guess. 30. Right?
Misty stepping at Pogo. You have him targeted.
Well,
So you had him targeted, so it showed Misty step at him. 30 feet is like base of the stairs. It's not very far. Is that really as far as 30? Misty step goes 30 feet?
Yeah. And then my movement, 20, and then my action, because that was a bonus, is to use the last thing on my ring healing surges. Where is it?
That didn't recharge? You used it since the last dawn? Are you sure you just didn't forget to reset it with a long rest?
Might have. I don't.
Does anybody remember? Yeah, does anybody remember if Becky used her ring to heal anybody? Since
Hasn't healed me.
Didn't she kill somebody the last time when we were killing the guys?
all the the Marathosians and the Chules and stuff?
Because we haven't had a long rest since we killed those
Yeah,
guys.
you definitely haven't had a long rest then. That was only 5 minutes ago as far as in narrative. But I don't remember.
used it then.
Did you?
I don't know. We'll just say I did.
Okay.
Now I'm at 0. So
Okay.
that's my action. So he can use 1 hit die. And that was, 25 and 30. I'm going back over here.
And then run back. Okay.
For my turn.
All right, so you run past Olowin, who is floating above the seats of that pew there. Run back around the pew and duck down. Pogo, go ahead and roll a hit die.
Wait, did she not use the thing?
She did. She had 1 charge left. It's not very much. It's literally 1 hit die worth of health for you, but it will be enough to make you conscious again. So. All right, that is 5 hit points back. Because this is going to matter.
What happened?
Because this is going to matter in narrative, I'm going to say that. So Sarah comes running up. You don't even feel the hand before you come conscious, but she had touched you to wake you up with the ring. You kind of shocking awake, head just absolutely like the worst possible imaginary headache. As you know, with literally a hole in the back of your head, in the back of your skull currently, you will have disadvantage on all spell casts for the time being for the lingering injury. Fair?
Can you say that one more time?
So remember, anytime you go unconscious,
Yeah.
lingering injury, right? So the effect, since this was mental, because literally your brain was being bitten into, is disadvantage on anything intelligence based and any spell casts.
Okay. So spellcast,
not
even if they're
saved.
charisma based, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it would still be
Cool.
spellcasts that are not necessarily intelligence ones, but I would say not saved based ones, because those are effects that you're putting on them, and that's up to them whether they resist it. But anything where you make an attack roll as part of it, like a spell attack roll. Make sense?
Got it.
It is Launder's turn. I'll have to put that on you in just a second. He saw Sarah run down, and probably from his single can just barely see that Pogo had been dropped. Is going to run into the fray. He can make it about here, but at the base of the stairs. Is going to throw Cure Wounds at 4th level is the highest he can do it. That'll have to do. All right. Healing Pogo for 21 more hit points.
Oh shit! Look at
Go ahead and heal yourself for that if you would.
heal at 21.
Yep. He shouts, I'm trying to help. And he's clearly in a panic, like he doesn't know what to do. Nearly stepped on Sai as he was running by, and is having a bit of a panic attack in the middle of the fight here.
I don't think I know how to add hit points.
I'll do it for you. It's fine.
Okay.
You can do it on the main tab, but for you guys, it's a pain to go back and forth. Whereas actually, well, I can do it from the combat tracker. I'm not sure if you guys can or not. So for me, it's probably easier than it is for you guys. Whoops. No. You're at 56 now?
No.
56 wounds you were, yeah.
I was at 56.
You're at
hurt,
Yeah, you're at 35 wounds out of 61 now, so.
Okay.
All right. You guys probably don't even notice this through all the commotion, but if anyone was looking out over the bay, you would see the creature out there beginning to submerge. You see the tentacles begin to kind of where he's at begin to submerge down into the water, causing a massive wave of this poisonous bay water flowing up about probably 8 or 10 feet up over the edges, and then splashing onto the ground out here. Not far enough to reach any of you though. So water splashes up over it. The northern part of this, which would be, we'll call it yay much, is splashed in poisonous water, but it's not enough to reach any of you guys. It is Artemis' turn.
Okay. I'm gonna move my spirit.
Okay. Then where it touches Pogo, go ahead. Another 5 hit points healed for Pogo. You are almost doing good now. What's that?
Yay.
Since it was on rock to begin with, before I moved it, would I heal him too? Or it has to be
Well, it would be if they started their turn there, so you couldn't get both just by moving it, no.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna continue with my bow.
All right. The stun is removed, but the lingering injury is there. If I can find it. What happened to those? I have them all in here somewhere. I'll just put it in manually. We'll just try to remember to use it in the meantime. All right. Who was that at? Illicit 22, that misses.
Okay.
Any movement? You going behind the wall or anything?
I'm just gonna stand here.
All right. Then it is Nork's turn. You are no longer stunned, and from the bite from Sai, and you are, having just seen Pogo reawakening with a larger illicit floating behind him.
The individual block movements crack me up.
Well, he's a slowly plodding. You know,
I
we
just
can
think
tell you're counting. It's just funny. 'Cause
fun to watch.
it looks like you're just like slowly walking towards him. Fine, I'll hit him.
I guess.
Yeah, he's enraged, but he's still just walking instead of it's a lazy kind
Low
of
rage. Yeah.
Yeah, it's low rage.
Good spirit, yay!
Hey, yep, he did touch it, so extra 2 hit points for Norok.
Oh, okay.
Be able to build all this thing into individual keys, so Ben will just be able to press a couple, like literally press 1 and press 2 on his keyboard and have it all done. That misses, G.
That'd be easy. Okay.
You with advantage, you rolled a 1 and a 4.
I thought
Yeah.
He's getting my luck on
Yeah, really. Because he missed with his throw earlier too. That one hits though. Oh, tribal. Okay. I heard you mumble, but I couldn't tell what it was. It was Tribal Fury. All right. Oh shit! You stomping forward, pulling your axe back out after just kind of finally being snapped out of the stupor. You pushed yourself past Olwyn, kind of shouldering her out of the way as she's floating above, but still eye level with you essentially. Shouldering her out of the way, you lean forward, just swinging all your might behind you the first swing, and it goes through empty space. It looks like it should have connected, but this blurry form that surrounds him, you just pass square through that, nearly hitting the floor with the axe in the first place. But kind of rotating your motion and spinning on your left leg, you make an uppercut motion that does find flesh as it sinks into him, yanking the blade free. Bonus actions?
I'm going to actually use my inspiration and do the rejuvenate bonus.
Okay, you're really. I can't tell if you're mumbly or if it's just because you're on the phone. What does it do? Rejuvenate what? Yeah, that's perfect.
My inspiration.
Okay, so rejuvenate, which one is that? Spend up to 2 hit dice as a bonus action. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, one was a 1 and one was a 4, so still better than nothing. It's an extra 13 hit points back for you.
Okay.
All right. The Isil Quendi out over the bay are still hammering out at the base of the stalactite up there. It's clear what they're trying to do. In fact, actually, Olwyn shouts out to you to try to buy them time and help out as much as you can. But they're hammering away at the stalactites, trying to drop them into the bay. You guys can gather why, which is also, by the way, you may not recognize this, but that's also why he sunk into the water. But still hammering away at it. Check percentile. All right. Nothing else that you guys can see other than occasional arrows coming out. Ooh, natural 20. And 2 natural 20s. Shit. All right. Only 2d8 each, but. And they both roll the exact same. All right. Probably have 1 here. 2 arrows sailing out over the space between all of you. You hear them sink into this other illithid that is off just north of you, the only other one that has not been injured yet, doing 18 total to him. And that is it for them. It is 22's turn. Well, so on the D6.
Good thing we're all clumped together, guys.
Well,
I do love it.
So I'm going to show you guys something. Justin knows what this means now. Ben, you might. I don't remember if you did anything where they had breath weapons or not. But very often when mobs have, they're called recharge effects, but basically an effect where they use something like a powerful ability that has a cooldown time. How it works is every time their turn starts, they roll a d6 to see if it comes back, and it has to be a 5 or a 6 for them to get it back, which means a 33% chance that them get it back every turn. You see what you got there? You got a 4.
Oh, so he didn't get it back.
Did not get it back. Yeah, just barely, by off by 1. Did not get it back. But he, with Norok in his face, I think he's going to do the same thing, actually. You see him kind of turn in your direction after you just hit him with the axe, Norok, and he reaches one of his long, bony fingers out towards your head to try to palm your head and try to pull you in. Give me a strength save. And it's an 18 you have to beat.
Oh, easy. Easy.
He has advantage because of rage, so I mean, odds are still pretty good of him succeeding. Yeah, well, he had to beat an 18, and he got an 18 plus 7. He puts his hand on your forehead, literally trying to kind of pull you in, and while the 4 tendrils around his mouth open up to try to fan out and prepare to bite you. But you kind of just shove it away with your elbow with the kind of butt end of the axe or the haft end of the axe and push him away. And he is going to then disappear again. What are you chuckling at?
I threw my hands up in the air because there went my plan.
Sorry. Ben's laughing at you because your plan got fucked. Olwen shouts in frustration and just rage and spins, kind of begins to lift herself up in the air. Part of her movement is elevation to float above Norok. Ben, I'm going to put her right here, but she is literally above you. Her feet are right in your face, basically. And she is going to send out another ball, not the white sonic boom, but a ball of psychic energy at the other illithid here. Which misses. Not with a 7, that's not going to do. She had to go up probably 10 feet to get past him, so she can only make it to here. And that'll be it for her turn. It is Sai's turn. One more time, Fox.
Sorry. Yeah, there was disappeared again.
Yeah, the big one, the one that's blurry, disappeared again.
She's going to get where she was going.
It's under control. Yeah. Okay. Where did you move her? Oh, she's still on the stairs there. You're cutting out a little bit. One more time. She's going to stay there on the stairs?
Yeah, she's just going to stay there.
Okay. All right. It is now the other illithid's turn, and he... Oh, that's a dead one. Never mind. Sorry. That's the one that doesn't have a head anymore. It got exploded. All right, it is
Oh my god, I get a turn!
Finally.
Right. Well, after going through...
Hang on, what is the... So I put lingering injury in there, and apparently that makes a water sound.
My brain hole lingering injury is just...
Yeah.
That's what a brain... I don't think that's what a brain hole sounds like, but okay.
that's what... Yeah, just blood just pouring
just
out.
Just a fucking river of blood just shooting out like a hose.
What's funny though is how that works is it reads the information and then looks for words, trigger words, and then it triggers off of those. So between lingering, injury, brain, and hole, between those 4 words, one of those 4 is a trigger for a river sound. So I have no idea what it would have been, but anyway.
So I'm going to grab my torch that I've been carrying around with me, and I'm going to, after all this is going on, I'm going to go ahead and cast greater invisibility on myself.
Okay. You know what?
Not off.
Do this. Here's how we're going to handle it, because you're still trying to cast an arcane spell. Go ahead and roll a percentile dice, and we'll call it 25 and above, you're fine. 24 and below, you cast the spell, but it fails because of the injury.
Sorry, I'm trying to remember. Is it control? No,
actually, so right click on the D10. That sounds fair to me, right? 25% chance of failure. Technically, 24% chance.
I'm just getting 5 modifiers. I think where's the right? There it is. Just percentage die, right?
Yep, you're fine.
Okay.
So you kind of beginning to lift yourself up, stand up up onto a shoulder, and then finish the incantation to turn yourself invisible.
So now that I'm invisible, I'm going to move right here to where I can see. This one's not flying, right? This one's just on the ground?
No, he's not too high up, though. He's only 4 feet off the ground.
All right. I'm going to I'm going to pull the bomb out of my having seen the last bomb explode, what do I think the radius of it would be? Would I be hurt if I stood here?
You'd probably be pretty close. You probably would have chosen to not go quite that close, like maybe another 5 feet back, and then maybe throw it. Like, are you just trying to roll it on the ground?
I'm actually going to light it, and then I'm going to roll it kind of as close to underneath, a little bit past him that I can, so that it's far enough for me. And then I'm going to immediately finish up my movement by moving all the way to the right and down. So I'm going to roll it, and then I'm going to move right there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Then, so it'll roll as you're running anyway, so you can finish the movement before the explosion could occur. Go ahead and, the blast radius on it was 15 feet. So just remember that water is still flowing out to that radius, or to that distance there.
It's still covered in water?
It's like slippery. No, it was a wave. It's receded, but remember that water is like viscous, so it's all slippery and everything there. So anyways, blast radius probably around that. Then you want it like underneath him, basically.
Yeah, darn it. As close to underneath him as I can get it.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and roll just a flat d20 for me.
All right.
It's not really a strength roll or anything. It's just you're fine. Okay. Then it is 3d8. So you light the bomb and roll it under his feet. It just kind of rolls like a bowling ball until there's this just blast that rocks the side of the. You guys don't know what it is, especially not at your height, Pogo. But the thing beside him, the stone rattles.
I actually just realized I can't fucking do that shit. That's a full action. I'd already used my action to declare invisible. So.
Correct.
Never mind. My bad, guys.
I appreciate you catching it because I didn't. So bonus action.
I'm actually going to do that, and then I want to just check because I think I can do as one thing as a bonus action. Let's stick with a classic. I'm gonna go ahead and cast. Do I have a spell slot? I might get one back here.
Vicious Mockery.
Yep. Nope, because that's not a bonus action. That's a full action.
Oh.
Level 2.
Banjo.
Let's see. I think I'm just gonna actually use. Nope. I think I'm just gonna cast invisibility on myself, and then I think that's. I'm gonna go. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and use my bonus to cast Bardic Inspiration on Norak.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just yell some words of encouragement to you, Norak, and you are going to be inspired.
Thank you, sir.
So you get an extra D8 roll on. Checks or saves, pretty much anything like that.
It is
or attacks. I think.
Yeah, one ability check, attack roll, or save. Basically, a D20. Pretty much anytime you need to roll a D20. All right, that it for Pogo's turn.
That's it for Pogo's turn.
All right, Ozzy. Continuing to run along here, trying to interpose himself as much as he can. He's only got 30 feet, so that's another thing I hate it that the numbers can be under things. They should always be above, because it's, if you're doing it, then you obviously need to be able to see it, which means there's never a point at which it should be below a token of any kind. Rushing forward, similarly to the last, is going to throw out a lightning bolt in the direction of the other Illithid here. If I can find it again, there we go. 17. He fails. 31 damage. Throws a lightning bolt at the other Illithid, who is still floating there. Did not have a bomb go off under his feet, but is blasted in the chest with a lightning bolt. The Illithid roars in the tempestuous anger of the squid-faced. It is immediately going to... Oh, he got a 5, guys.
Uh-oh. Was it his turn?
Yeah, well, it's his turn right after Ozzy, yeah. He came up right after Ozzy.
The good news is, I think I'm out of range.
Well, I mean, if you turned it in your direction, yeah, then it would hit you. But otherwise, it's going to be, since it's, most reasonable for him, it's going to be Ozzy, Sarah, Norak, Olowin, and Launder. I think that's Sai is in that as well. So Sai is just in that 60-foot cone here. I'm just gonna do it because if I draw the 60 feet, she's probably right there on the edge. It looks like. I mean, that is 60 feet, so technically, yep, she's in it. So it's gonna be half damage, and I don't think Sai can survive half damage even if she makes the saves. So intelligence save for Norok and Sarah. And then I have to roll for Ozzy. We'll go Oluwin, Ozzy, and then Launder. And then I need one for Sai as well. So.
Oh, no.
I'll roll it for some.
Okay.
Which one's that roll?
Ooh.
All right. Well, keep in mind, if you've already been stunned, you are immune to it for the next 24 hours. So it's just a matter of whether you take half damage or not. So everyone failed. Literally everyone. I got from the top 5 from Sarah, 6 from Oluwin, 6 from Ozzy, 5 from Launder, and then 8 from Norok. So,
It's okay, guys. Pogo's got this.
and keep in mind, guys, there's still a very large, dangerous creature in the water that you guys would still have to deal with.
Yep.
Oh shit! Okay, got 4, 1, 1, and 7, so it didn't roll great on the damage at least. All right, 17 total damage to Norok, but cannot be stunned. Artemis is not in there, so it's not a risk for her. 17 to Oluwin, who is stunned. Sai has 10 hit points. Artemis, you feel your heart freeze for just a moment as directly in front of you this cone of psychic energy erupts over them. Sai freezes in place for a moment and then collapses forward, and you can tell that her heart isn't beating. And then she disappears. Pogo is not there. Considering the dangerous situation she's in, she's only died 3 times you've had to bring her back, right? Except for the first time, like the time, the big one. Sarah is hit as well and is also stunned. Launder is hit and stunned. And did I pass all of it? Oh, I put the damage on all of them, but not the stun. So there it is. All right, that is it for his turn. You know what? He is also going to disappear. Poor Becky. Yeah, you're stuck now, anyways, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Okay, it is your turn, Sarah. So go ahead and roll your save at the end of your turn. Got to beat a 15 intelligence. Oh, so close. That's what you got 2 the first time, wasn't it, Justin?
I don't even know. That was 1,000 years ago.
Right, Launder got out. He got a 22.
Yeah.
So Launder shakes off the stun. It is the end of his turn, of course, so he can't do anything else. You guys can't see that. All right, it is Artemis' turn.
So Artemis is or isn't stunned?
She was not in the cone.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It was just Sai. Artemis is fine.
Everybody's done?
So in front of you, you see Sarah is stunned and seems to be, injured by this. Launder was stunned, but shaking it off. Norok was injured, but not stunned. Oluwin and Ozzy were injured and stunned.
Okay, so I'm gonna go shake Launder.
Okay. Then you rush down the
Launder's
stairs.
already out of it.
Oh yeah, sorry. Launder shook out of it. Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
I'm gonna shake Sarah.
And Sarah, you were still hiding behind the pew. You never got back on the broom, right?
Yeah, no.
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay, then that'll be your action to knock Sarah out, of the stun, not unconscious.
Yeah.
She'll do that on her own. She's good at that.
Hey,
Any bonus action?
I'm gonna move that. And the spirit is still near Norok.
Hang on, you probably don't have quite that much movement because you were from this corner to there is 30. To even get to her was 30. So you'll pretty much be stuck behind her around the corner there. Like here.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna use my inspiration to get a spell slot back.
Okay.
Second
Guys,
slot.
You know what sounds really good now? That people soup that one guy was making.
If
So
only you
much better than what we're doing right now.
And
up to level 4. So you said you're using a second or getting a second level slot back.
yeah.
Okay. So your action was to shake her awake. What's your bonus action?
The spirit is still on Norok, so I'd be able to heal him.
If he starts his turn there, yes, or if you move it. So you can use your bonus action to move it, which would heal him now if you wanted to, or
Yeah,
anybody
I'll
else if you wanted to move it to heal anybody.
heal.
If it just stays there, then it would heal him as soon as his turn comes up. But you can move it to heal anybody within range. To take your bonus action, but go ahead.
Yeah, I'll leave it there to heal him when it comes up.
Okay. Then anything else you want to use your bonus action for?
No.
So you're gonna stay there then? Well, I guess you can't
Wait.
move any further anyway. So
Yeah, I'm gonna use Healing Word on her.
okay. Then go ahead and mark that off. Are you casting at second level then?
First level, because I still had one.
Oh, it's your free. Okay, your one that was open. Gotcha. All right, so another heal, 7 hit points back to Norok. And that if your turn then?
Yeah, that's the end of my turn.
All right, Norok, it is your turn. Still raging, inspired by Pogo, who is hiding behind the statue. Both of the Illithid rather that you could see have disappeared. What are you doing?
Okay.
Oh wait, no. Does my gem of seeing require? I don't remember. I was gonna give him my gem of seeing so he could actually fucking see shit. But I think
As a bonus action, you can speak the command word and have it expend 1 charge.
I think it's
It might require 2.
limits. Yeah, let me check.
Let's see. Gem of Seeing, it does.
Yep, never mind.
And it is attuned, so.
Never mind.
You can hold your action, G.
Ooh, yeah. So then when they come visible, you just fucking throw some axe at them. I gotta use the restroom. I'll be right back.
What are you doing, G?
Okay, yeah. I was just checking, but I'm going to just keep looking around and look out in the bay too. From if I look out there, does it look like that any more tentacles are popping up or anything?
So the main head of the creature has submerged, like the part with the eyes on it and everything has submerged beneath the water. You actually, you know what? From where you are, the water is the waves are kind of sloshing back and forth still from him submerging and pushing himself under the water and disturbing it. Every time the waves splash up a little bit, you can see just there are countless creatures of the type that you just slaughtered a whole couple dozen of above in the water, like just staring at you. They're all floating in the water, and every time a wave comes up, they're swimming up. They're in the waves, and you see just tons and tons and tons of eyes, and then they sink back down as the waves go in. You guess there's probably hundreds in the water there.
All right, then I'm gonna make sure everyone else, whoever can hear me, that there's a bunch of the snorks out there in the water.
The snort.
Yeah. And then I'm going to just keep looking around and hold my action. And then if I see one of those stupid things pop up, then I will, I'm assuming, throw Vulcan at it, but if it was melee range, I'll hit it, if that's possible. I don't know if I can.
I mean, that's fine. I'll accept it that you would, attack if you see one of the Illithid appear.
Okay, yeah, within my range.
All right. Okay, that does take your reaction to do that, and then your action would be to make the attack. So, Justin, Norok was looking out over the bay, looking around, trying to see, if one of the Illithid reappeared. He'll be readying his action to attack one of them if they appear. But looking out into the water, when the creature submerged itself, it, was causing a bunch of waves that were sloshing water up onto the stones, right, up onto the stairs. But the waves are still, that was only, 6 seconds ago. And the water's still disturbed and kind of sloshing back and forth. And every time those waves come up high enough, Pogo would be able to see this as well if he would, since he is kind of looking that direction. there are just countless of all of the kinds of creatures that you guys fought just above. All those piles of bodies that you left up there, there's maybe hundreds more that are in the water just staring at you guys in the waves. Still in the water. They haven't come up onto the steps or anything, but more the Marathosians, more Tool, more the Sahuagin, all those things that are out there. They are still hammering at stalagmites or stalactites out there. Okay. And it is... Alright. Arteme, you hear rustling behind you, like the rustling of cloth, and feel a clammy hand on the back of your neck that grabs the back of your neck and begins to pull you upward as the Illithid appears behind you. Give me a strength save. You're not stuck, so.
Does Norak get his reaction?
It's behind him, but I would say he would still be able to.
I mean, he is like 10 feet tall.
Yeah, I mean, so and Arteme did not save,
No.
so that would not have been successful. The only reason you didn't get a save, by the way, Justin, is you were already stunned when it happened. If you remember, when he grabbed you, for both Norak and Arteme, they were not stunned. Arteme, you feel yourself being lifted off of the ground. Your feet leave the steps as it lifts you up, and you feel the tentacles begin to wrap around the back of your head. Norak, go ahead and make your attack. You get one attack because it's just your throw, so it's just your attempt to launch Vulcan at him. His eyes are still glowing, by the way, with the kind of purple flashlights. Misses. Yeah, that's a 15 total, which is off by 1. It's literally off by 1. The grasping tentacles wrap around.
Mardic expression.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Okay, so Ben, his AC is 16. You got a 15. Pogo did give you Bardic Inspiration, which is a D8 that you can add to that roll.
You don't have to. I'm just letting you know you have that as an option.
So it's
thank you for the reminder. And I guess I don't even need to roll it, huh? Since it would be
well, I mean, that's it. That's exactly it. I mean, the lowest you could roll is a 1, which would hit. So that means it will hit. And just before you do anything, go ahead and roll the damage. I'm going to grab this. I just put it there. He had 1 hit point left, and so Ben missing that was just fucking devastating because that would have easily, like, just one shot with it's 10d10. I mean, it easily could have taken Arteme out in 1, even though she's fully health. The axe spins end over end, smacks square into the face of the creature. In fact, actually, the rattling of the tentacles around the back of Arteme's head as it begins to kind of lower towards the ground.
I forgot to do that.
Focused on the important things is to heal an Orok when you almost got your brain eaten. Tentacles still wrapped around the back of your head as they begin to kind of lessen, but the grasp is still there, pulling you downward, Arteme, like back towards the ground until your feet are settled there, and it begins to loosen off the back of your head so you can stand up straight again. The creature is no more. The lights that were out of its eyes begin to fade, and you guys wouldn't be able to see anything else at the moment. So something happens, important happens, but you guys can't see it because the other guy's invisible. So that's it. Olwyn spinning around, having seen Norak just turn in place, like turn on his heel, and then launch Vulcan end over end into the other Illithid. Just screams in frustration, like just kind of banging her fists against her sides in anger and frustration, and lifts herself up even further until she's about 5-6 feet off the ground and floats out towards the middle here, looking in all directions, waiting for anything to appear. It is Fogo's turn. You're still invisible.
Yeah, I'm going to. Let's see here. 5. Do I have 25 feet of movement? I think I do.
That's definitely more than 25 feet.
Oh yeah, but I was thinking about using my dash.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay. I'm gonna use my.
Oh
action.
shit, she's done.
Huh?
Olwen is stunned. She did not move. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Oh, she's
Thanks.
still stunned?
Yep.
Oh, then in that case, my invisible ass is going to move to her and then use my action to shake her awake airplane style. Come on, you're out of control. You're so insane. Slap,
Smack her
slap.
across the
Come
face.
on.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't do damage, so I would say that it won't
No.
break your invisibility. So, okay, she's no longer stunned then. Thanks,
Right.
Becky. I'd forgotten.
And then I'm going to use the rest of my motion. See, that was 10 feet. 5, 10, 15. To move up here. And I'm going to use my bonus action to use my Gem of Seeing to see what I can see.
Okay. You look straight ahead of you, and as soon as you lift, you pull the gem out of a pocket, cover it over your eye, and lift your head back up. And the moment you look up, the creature is 15 feet in front of you, floating in the air directly in front of your face.
Neat.
That's literally where he left off.
I
He barely
do not-
moved. He moved slightly.
I put the gem to my eye, and I see him, and I keep looking around, pretending not to react at all.
Well,
Oh, interesting.
it does not appear
Interesting.
that he.
Oh, that's right. He can't see me.
Okay, so I just wanted to point that out. Yeah, it does not appear that he can tell that you're there.
Since I'm using my bonus action to kind of look around, is there anything else weird that I see that we haven't seen yet?
You do see shit. All right.
Yeah, I can roll for perception.
Oh, well, you won't need to. This is below
Okay.
your path. It's just something that only Pogo would see.
And the thing in the middle, up towards the front, those stairs are going up, not down, right?
Yes. So the ones to the north go up. The ones to the south go. Actually, they both go up. You guys are on the lower level, basically.
Okay. All right. So I see that. Interesting.
Anything else?
Nope. That's my turn.
All right. Then,
As a free action, I'm gonna yell. I know this is gonna kind of give away my spot. It's 15 feet in front of me, and see if they can hear from where I'm at. Give them a little bit of.
there. So are you still? I guess you turn
15
around. Or are you
feet
still
towards
facing?
the water.
Okay. Well, if you're looking in that direction still, its eyes do go kind of wide and then look like down in your direction. Not directly at you, but you can tell that it has located you, but not, it's not looking you in the eyes, basically. It's just basing you on sound, it seems like.
That was a dumb idea.
But
Pogo's not that smart, guys. He's the kind of guy that's going to text back when someone's like, hey, your friend lost their phone. Can you get a hold of them? And then he'll text back the number and be like, hey, man,
Hey,
someone
they found
found your phone.
All right. Then you guys see Ozzy seems to have shaken off the stun as well, and I can't do it any other way, I guess, without doing too much. All right. So the stun seems to have worn off, let's say, around Ozzy, and he rushes forward, leaps up onto the back of the pew here, like over the back of the pew, and then standing there is still looking directly at the kind of general area where Pogo had said this thing might be, basically in front of it, and you see him send another lightning bolt in that direction, which does not connect, I guess.
More to the left or to the right?
You see it go past between the two of you, between where you see the creature and you. So you see the
Closer to the water! By a bit!
Well, you guys lucked out and he got a 1 on his recharge.
Sweet.
He, you know what? He can tell that you're there, but you know what? I don't think he. You know what? Here, I'm gonna roll something to see if he would understand that you can see him, because you're looking at him, but maybe he might just be guessing you're looking in that direction and pointing. Yeah, he figured it out then. All right.
Cool.
In that case, he is just going to say, because what better can he do, is going to reach down and grab you. You see him literally, just grab your shoulder.
Does he have to roll for that attack, or like a disadvantage or anything? Or
you kind of told him where you are. You know what? It's fair. I'll say that he still has a disadvantage on the attempt, just to even see if he can grab you.
Because I feel like if you're 15 feet away and someone yells at you, and you have to close your eyes and then try to grab their head.
Yeah, that's still a fair distance. So, Well, he got an 11, so that's below your AC. He reaches in your direction, and you see him like just almost like he's trying to claw the air, of just like slashing out with his hands, like he's trying to find you. It's clear that he's trying to grab you, but
So basically, it's like when you're 10 years old and playing Marco Polo, and you're just kind of moving your head slowly around in the pool.
Yeah, like that, like looking, trying to feel around for something that he knows is there, but misses. It is Sarah's turn. He is right in front of you now, by the way, like literally right in front of you. His arms were swaying over your head. Maybe not recognizing how short you are, you're ducking.
I'm pretty small.
30, I'm going over here.
Okay.
And I'm going to... Okay, so my held action, if I don't use it by my next turn, it is gone. Right?
Yes, you have to use it before the start of your next turn. Yeah. And you can't see Pogo either, by the way. So, he's basically...
You heard me. You know my general area, but...
he said 15 feet that way, and you guys don't know where he is. So, that doesn't really give you a point of reference.
Yeah,
you didn't see how he tried a lightning bolt. Yeah.
And then he said farther...
Farther that way. Yeah.
I really don't want to waste that. So, I'm going to use Chaos Bolt.
Shit, hang on. So, this isn't quite how this would normally work because it is an ability, but I'm going to say that the ability, since it's supposed to mimic invisibility, in the event that it did try to make an attack, which it essentially did, it was trying to grab Pogo, which would have hurt Pogo, means that it would have revealed itself. So you do see the like the Predator, when you see the invisibility effects of, like, remember Predator movies? When they would have that weird, like, kind of camouflaging effect where you could see it even though it's invisible. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Ben knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like cloak or whatever.
Yeah, like the cloaking things where it's like it just disturbs the light around it. So you can see the area where it is. I'll say that you'll still have disadvantage, but you can at least make the attempt.
Okay. If
Just for
that's
split
the
thing,
case,
reveal it again.
can I bring up Shan then? So
Yeah.
I can kind of see it?
Yeah, I mean, you can see the disturbance in the area to tell that that's where he must be.
Sweet.
So that works.
He gets disadvantage.
Okay.
And I'm
So let me get your token for it too.
Light.
All right. Do you need to roll advantage or roll initiative for it? Oh well, shit. If you're casting light, he failed anyways. You get a 4+1 for a total of 5.
Fuck yeah.
That's why I was like, well, if you're gonna roll light anyways, like this is all kind of pointless.
Right.
So
Shan pops in and
yeah,
she pops out.
exactly.
Oh, why
summon
did
her.
you? What happened? No.
You summon Shan. She is like mouth turned to the or neck turned to the side, about to take a bite out of the Illithid. As the blight connects with it, just covering it in these boiling spores of rotten leaves. The mouth begins to bite around the ankle of the Illithid, and then she just bursts into smoke and then disappears again. So, wasting your sorcery points, but you were making sure that he was dead at least.
Exactly. It gave him disadvantage. That's fine.
That's fair. Yeah. You had disadvantage on the blight save, so. Which was, he got a 4+1. He would have had a 15, so he would have succeeded.
See?
Yeah, so that does count. Launder was he was stunned, wasn't he?
No, he shook himself out at the end of his last turn.
Oh, that's right. He made it right after he got stunned. Okay. Then looking around, he trying to assess the situation of who might be injured. He saw Arteme got grabbed and lifted up, and she's the closest to him, so he's going to reach over and cure wounds on Arteme, not knowing necessarily that she would need it or not. So she doesn't need it, but he will expend the spell slot for it, for healing her for 11 hit points that she doesn't need. And then he is going to run down, to here, turn and sees Norok is injured as well, and throw Healing Word at Norok for 2d4. So 10 more hit points to Norok. You guys are doing okay. You're in okay shape.
Yeah, we're doing fine. We're fine. Everything's fine.
And out in the water, the water disturbing again, and this time like lifting up in a wave as you see the gargantuan form of the warrior lift back up out of the water until its head is again visible above the waves, and the tentacles begin to kind of reappear in all around in the water surrounding there. There are far more than there ought to be, by the way. It's not 10, it's not 8. It's clearly not an octopus or a squid, but something else. And it is Artemis' turn. What are you guys doing? The 3 Illithid are dead all around you.
How does it look? The elves, are they still just chipping away at rocks?
Give me a perception check.
Oh, I was already on that page. God, my perception's so bad. Hey!
I'm gonna look around too before deciding what I do.
Sure. And then you go with a natural 20, Fox.
Yeah.
Are you sure you didn't you sure you don't have monk pressing the buttons for you or something? Because these clearly are not. These are not Fox rolls. Like the last few weeks now.
I'm not getting him to press the buttons for me.
I'm kidding. You guys both looking up there, Artemis, your eyes, being sharp enough to be able to pick out even the small details. You both can see that they are chipping away at this the way that Therese and one of the other elves are hammering with pickaxes at the base of it. They're upside down, Spider-Man style, stuck to the ceiling, right? Spider Pig from the Simpsons movie. And they're just hammering away at the base of this, but they're not, the strongest necessarily, so it's taking them a while. But they're chopping at it the way that a lumberjack would chop at a tree. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they have? They must have that spider something spell.
It looks so. Spider climb is what's being
Spider
cast.
climb.
Stanway, who is
Spider climb. Spider climb.
does whatever spider climb does.
Spider climb.
Okay, that was just creepy.
It is creepy.
What, spider climb?
No, the fact that they're just upside down hacking at these things.
Well, so remember when they left, they said that they had an idea, and they know this area, they know this temple and everything, and this is what they're trying to do. It's a very large stalactite out of the ceiling that appears to be at least relatively close over where the warrior is in the water, and that's what they're doing. But it's taking them a long time. They're only maybe a third of the way through the stalactite, and it doesn't seem like it's going to take them quite a while longer. It doesn't seem like they're making good progress. I've rolled for them every turn so far, and they're not rolling very good. That's what those percentile dice have been. So, anyways, that's what you guys see.
Okay.
But you are in a moment of calm. There's nothing attacking you at the moment. You know that the water is full of countless more of the minions of the of the warrior, and the warrior is just kind of lifted up out of the water and kind of staring in your direction, and its tentacles are kind of swaying with the water kind of sloshing up onto the steps.
Okay, I'm gonna call everybody to go to the spear to get healed. First thing. And,
Okay. It's been, how long ago did you cast it? Doesn't it last 1 minute?
Are we still in formation? Are we still not in battle?
Well, I mean, we'll call this a halfway point. You're kind of it's a lull, but not necessarily out of initiative completely. Not free actions because you won't have that long, but maybe 10 or 12.
I've only got 4 more turns for invisibility. Or no, wait, 10 turns total. I got 8 turns for invisibility.
Yeah.
Casted it on my second turn?
That sounds right. So you guys have about 30 seconds of it, which means that if you all conga line through the spirit over and over again, you'll get 6 rolls. How long does it last? Is it 1 minute?
1 minute.
Yeah, well, 1 minute for healing spirit, though, right? Right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Then if it's 1 minute, it would be 10 turns total, and you cast on the second one, which means it's been 3. So there's 7 total rolls that you can give to everybody, Fox.
But what if we don't want to use all the rest of that time on healing?
You don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to walk through it if you don't need to. Just roll. Yeah, roll. That's fine. So it would be 26 total, Fox. Just leave it like that, and I'll just apply 26 for everyone.
Okay.
So instead of rolling it for everybody individually. So Norok is almost fully healed. That helps Olwyn quite a bit. She's got 24. Pogo, are you going over to walk through the spirit or no?
Can I do it for just the first 2 turns, so I still have some invisibility left?
Yeah, Ozzy is kind of backing away as well, just still looking out over the water, not wanting to take his eyes away from it, and is clearly concerned about this. But did you put the gem away?
No, I still have it out. I was gonna just run, maybe wait there for 10 or 12 seconds to get 2 heals off of it, and then I want to run up here using my next turn plus dash, so that should be my turn. I wanted to see what was on this table, see if there's anything that looks like it would be helpful while I'm still invisible.
Okay. Then while you're still invisible, you see one thing that is still on the table and one that got rattled off. One that got rattled off was a book and it's illegible. You can't understand what this is. But the thing that is on the table, you have not seen before, but it would look familiar to at least one of you. It's do you know what the caduceus staff is, or Caudica staff, the medical symbol?
Medical staff, yeah.
Yeah. So the medical staff, it looks like that. It's basically a rod with a ball on one end, and then there are two springs almost that snake around the outside of it. It's all metal. It looks strange. The metal doesn't look familiar to you, but it looks like it's one solid piece. But the springs that surround the outside are not touching. Like they're not connected to any piece. But it somehow feels like it's all one piece.
So I am going to grab that, still being invisible, and then use my next turn to run back to the group and toss it on the ground in front of everyone.
Okay.
And say, I don't know what this is, but it was up on the table. And then,
so then it
right
disappears, and then when you throw it down, just a thing appears and clatters against the ground. Ozzy turns, looking around, not seeing you specifically necessarily, at least as far as you can tell, reaches down and grabs it and shoves it in a pocket. He says, let's not worry about that right now. We still have this thing to deal with.
right. And then I will take one more small heal from the thing then, if we're all going to do that.
Okay.
I didn't see anything else interesting. And then I'm going to turn basically visible again.
All right, the next one was a 2, so you'll be at 21 hit points. Ozzy did not move to take heals from it. Sarah, did you go into the healing spirit?
Yes, I'm going to do that, and I'm also looking to get back. So, question: since Shan is made of smoke, she doesn't need to technically breathe, right? Like
Correct.
she can go on water.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to get back one of my sorcery points, so I can call her again if I need to.
Okay. Converting sorcery point or spell slots into sorcery points. Is that how you're doing it? Okay. Yeah. All right. That done. Then we will. So I guess what are you guys doing then? You've all kind of gathered around and then dispersed around the healing spirit, let's say. What is Arteme? Your healing spirit has disappeared. The warrior has not appeared to have moved. It's still just floating out there in the water. The water is sloshing pretty violently now because it has kind of gone under and come back up, and it is displacing a ton of the water just by its size alone. Olowin kind of floats in, seemingly distrusting potentially of Ozzy, not knowing who he is. Ozzy is somewhat dismissive. He's barely spoken since arriving here, and is kind of just standing there, just waiting for you guys. What are we doing?
We're killing this fucking thing. The elves on the ceiling, they're friends for right now, so we need to kill it.
I just noticed when I cast Healing Spirit, I used a 4th level slot, so the healing would have been increased by 1d6 for each slot, so I don't know if it does it automatically.
In that case, it would have. Well, Pogo would have actually still would have been the same because he got the first couple, or he didn't stay through the whole time. Ozzy didn't touch it. Roll 2d6 more, Fox. Yeah, because Norok and Olowin both touched it, and Norok wasn't quite fully healed, so probably would cover him. And then Olowin would have a little bit more healing too. Just 2d6 Fox.
I don't know how much more time we have, but I'm going to try to get up into this corner up by this thing and just crouch down.
If you just grab there you go. You got him.
Oh, shit. Nice roll.
Okay, I'm starting to distrust that you're actually the one doing these rolls. There's no way that just these rolls.
Fucking bot.
What? I'm not being lucky once in a while?
Yeah, really. Yeah, exactly. It's so impossible. It's so impossible for Fox to actually be lucky on anything that you have to distrust immediately.
Hey, there was 5 or 6 updates since I started playing. Maybe they fixed it.
Maybe it was a bug in Fantasy Grounds that has kept you rolling badly for 3 years, 2.5 years. Oh, by the way, guys, that was the other thing. Remember earlier before we started, and I said I couldn't remember what it was, and I didn't think it was something narrative. Remember? Mm-hmm. All right, so let me look back at the calendar. Because I think it was June 6th or something, June 4th, I think, actually, when we first started. Oh, it was June 25th. All right, so we're a couple weeks then. Ben, it was June 25th of 2017 when we started, so we're a couple weeks away from 3 years since we started.
Wait, really?
Yep. Yeah. Not Embers. We started Embers, Fox. So you started, Fox, on October 9th of 2018. So coming up on 2 years for Fox.
Because I have... The first time I wrote a date, I didn't write the year, but I wrote Saturday the 19th, and then it was January 26th. Wait, I don't get this.
Well, the very first game that you played was our session 0, and that was for Embers, and that was October 9th of 2018.
Okay.
But you and I did a short thing before that just to show you how Fantasy Grounds worked and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, because I have notes, but I didn't always date my notes.
yeah, doesn't exactly matter. I just thought that was cool that we're coming up on 3 years. All right. So, anyways, it's seeing the constant disturbance of the water. Pogo, there are tentacles near where you are, but like they might be able to reach you if they could see you. But you were invisible as you arrived at that wall there, and then drop down behind it. And it is tall enough that you can be behind it and not be visible to the outside, as far as you can tell, before the invisibility fades.
So now I am visible, right? And are we
You are.
back in? Are we okay? So it hasn't done anything besides slosh water. Do I feel like the water is going to get over this wall as of now, or does it feel like
no, actually,
slosh?
It's so you are actually up about 10 feet above the main floor because of those stairs, and then that wall is up even higher than that. That wall's another 4.5, maybe 5 feet tall. So you've got plenty of tight water level.
Let's see. What's this range on Mage Hand again?
30 feet.
What'd you say?
30 feet.
Oh, 30 feet. That's not going to cut it. We got to draw them in, guys, and drop the bombs on them.
I
All
have
right.
a home, but Sarah ain't going up that high, so if somebody else wants to take the broom, they're more than welcome to.
Okay, Sarah's like broom shy all of a sudden after being yanked off of it by being grabbed by the claw man. I mean, that was kind of on you. I mean, I told you how tall he was, and you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna stay right in claw distance of him so that he can pull you off of the broom.
I wasn't even thinking.
Okay.
By the way, now that you guys, so there's this kind of momentary lull as you guys have gathered around to grab the healing spirit. The warrior is clearly staring at you. There's just this like aura of malevolence coming from the bay. But now that you're close enough, and he's like not moving much, Pogo, you ran away, but you already kind of saw something. It's clear that he's that there's something odd, that this like Ozzy isn't quite himself. It seems like.
All right. Well, don't know really how to act on that information when we're fighting a giant.
Well, that's the thing, is you guys aren't fighting anything. It's kind of a lull in the moment.
I'm
and
gonna
it's
ask Ozzy if he's okay, and if you found out some information, that's why he showed up.
Give me an insight check. He says out loud to everybody, he says, yeah, the message Pogo sent, this creature is just too dangerous. I couldn't leave you to deal with this on your own, so I came to help. But we've got to hurry. I don't have very long.
How did you do this?
Don't worry about that right now. We got to deal with this, and then we can go. I mean, we're going to need you back at the Crow Fort soon anyway, so let's get this handled, and then we'll go.
Okay.
His voice doesn't sound quite right either. It sounds like yelling through a tube, I guess is how I describe it.
I am going to cast Bane on. Wait. What's the range on Bane? Oh no, not just kidding. Can I help? Are any of his tentacles within 30 feet?
They are pretty. Yeah, they're pretty close to you. They're like in that bay of water that's right in front of you.
Here's a DM question: if I cast it on part of him, does it count for all of him?
I'm gonna tell you that you wouldn't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I look up and I see are all the elves working on one giant stalactite?
They're all around. There's. It's not. So they are working on one giant stalactite, yes, but there are like rocks all around it, and they're hiding behind those while they're shooting arrows out. They have stopped for a moment though. They don't appear to be
Is
shooting
there
anymore.
any large area? Oh no, too far away. Farts. Okay. We're doing this then. Well, no, not until we're in combat. I don't want to waste that. Nope. I'm just hanging out, keeping an eye out on this thing, seeing if it's doing any weird movements.
Okay.
Since nothing's going on for this second, I'm gonna go over here and just kind of like poke at Ozzy and see if my finger goes through.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah, it passes right through. He kind of turns and looks at you, and he grins a little bit. He says, "Don't worry about it. I'm here to help. So we've got to hurry. This doesn't last forever."
Okay. I know what I'm going to do. If I see all these individual tentacles coming out of the water, I didn't understand. I thought we were looking at these big ones. I am going to cast Bane on 3 of these tentacles at level 1.
Okay.
If I can do this shit.
There are many more, by the way. I don't want to flood. I don't want to put 30 of them on the combat tracker. There's basically they're just pretty much all over the place, and those are just the ones that are nearest to you, Pogo. There's probably 30 is an exaggeration. There's probably double what I just put on there. There's probably 4 more.
So I'm going to lift my head up and I'm going to cast Bane. And I do believe they have to do a save on that one. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. Fuck it. Nope. I'm just waiting. So hide behind this wall until she starts
going
down.
Back down then. So
I'm leaving it to other people to find a solution here.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my sharp bow and hit the tentacle that's close.
You can only barely see them because of where you are. The part that Pogo is on right now is up about 12 feet total from where you are, and that's kind of blocking the water behind it. So you can like barely see that there's tentacles swaying that you might get whips of. Okay, yeah. If you're moving up to the top of there, then you can make a shot between these. Like you see these the ramparts here, the crenellation. Remember when I told you guys what the word crenellation was?
Yeah.
These are crenellation. So now you can see what crenellation is. So, anyways, you've got a shot between those. Although it does have probably half cover. Do you have sharpshooter or anything?
I have elven accuracy.
Yeah, that's if you have it. You got to try to remember to use that anytime. If you can ever give yourself advantage at any point, you get to roll 3 dice instead of 2.
Okay.
It gives you like a 40% chance to, like a much higher chance of a.
Gotcha. I keep forgetting about it and exactly what it does. So,
yeah, it's called super advantage. So you basically get to roll 3 instead of 2. All right, with it would be +2. I think that still hits. I don't think I do super high. Let me see. 15. Yeah, that would still hit.
Okay.
All right. Then you come running up the steps, bow drawn, and release an arrow that goes right in front of Pogo, probably scaring him a little bit as it passes between the crenellation of these steps here. Hang on. Make sure that's just. I can't tell if Esther's having a nightmare or if she's about to throw up. I just heard her making noise. There she is. Okay, she's fine. I can't tell.
Well, why don't you go check while I go get some water?
Yeah,
because I'm thirsty.
Quick break, guys. Yeah.
Quick break.
Okay,
Right.
be right back.
Right back. Yep.
I don't even know if I have any type of idea. But I'm comfortable.
Back to this game. Going back to the game. Gonna have some calamari. So are we just gonna attack these individual tentacles, or are we gonna try to... Who's got the broom?
I do.
Just give you all the bombs. Just go fucking fly up
No.
like over the thing.
No, if I go higher than 20 feet, I have to make a dex save, and I could fall in the water with him. because
It'll be fine. Well, when you think like that, it's positive. The power of positive thinking is really going to get us through this.
I've fallen off the broom like 5 times. Positive thinking has done nothing.
Maybe you weren't positive thinking enough.
Should we help the elves knock down the stalagmites, whatever it is?
Oh yeah, let's just climb up the walls there with our spider legs, the way those freaky deakies have done that.
Well, if we can hit it with range.
Yeah, I was wondering. I could cast Shatter, but I don't think I could cast it far. I'd have to be like right in the middle of basically underneath it to cast any spells.
But you could take the broom and go up there and do it.
No, I can try.
Send your banjo up there. Start smashing with it.
It's only got like a 30 feet range.
Okay.
Well, I think the ceiling's only like 40, so
He's got Featherfall.
I do.
I mean, I could do it if you want to cast Featherfall on me, although I feel like I'm going to end up falling directly into its mouth. Just
I would
slowly.
have to wait until you actually fall, because if you're touching anything, the feather fall doesn't work.
All right. Well, that's an option. You'll see me falling. So, oh, you're pretty far away. That can be our possible plan. Oh, it just sounds terrible. Sounds like a terrible. None of these plans sound good.
No. But we don't have much of a choice.
Can Norok fly on the broom?
No.
Okay,
Because
it's
the
too
broom is
heavy.
still broken.
All right. We gotta find an artificer. Artificer? Artificer. Ugh. Swear to God, your friend back at that base better be one hell of an assassin.
What friend? Would be.
You don't even remember why we're here? We're here to save your friend. What's
Not
her
my
name?
friend.
Her name's Maybe.
Oh. Right.
That's why we're here,
It-
to get a thing that will maybe save Maybe. That's the whole thing. That's why. This has nothing else to do with anything.
I forgot. We're killing a squid.
I say if we do this, maybe we should just live here. This doesn't seem that bad. Maybe we'll be welcomed as heroes.
Probably
They'll
not.
give us a villa. We can come back in the winter times for the nice tropical environment, get our tans. It can be like a home away from home.
We already have a home. We have a fort thing.
Yeah, now we can have a vacation fort. I'll ask the queen if we can have a vacation home here.
We're already asking for an artifact. I don't think she's gonna want to give us a house.
Big deal about she's a queen. She's probably got loads of them.
I'm pretty sure when we're done, they're gonna want us to get the hell out and not come back.
Oh, we should have never come here. This is just such a mistake. So unnecessary. We'll save the animals. I'm sure they'll really appreciate it. Sure.
We should have gone to the capital and gone to a party.
Yeah. And then we could have maybe got ourselves a nice cottage there.
I'm back.
Right, how's the pup?
Still not good. So she ate a little bit of grass a few hours ago, and she threw that back up. So I think she's just.
I think that's good though. That's like how they're supposed to do it.
Well, so so eating grass is specifically what they do to settle their stomach, but they don't always throw it up. They just, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But I think anything that gets in her stomach, she's just throwing it right back up again. This time, thankfully, it was 2 hours. What's that?
Is she drinking water?
Yeah, she drank a little bit ago, and then she drank, some just a second ago. So like, there's still bile too. She's not just dry eating. She's still acting fine. It's just, if it's not any better by the morning, then I'll take her in. She's still acting completely normal, though she still wants to play. She still wants to eat, but I took her food away because I don't want her to eat and just throw it right back up again. That upset her stomach worse. But still wants to play, everything, so she's, normal except for the vomiting at the moment. And the swelling's completely gone, so
We can try
I'm just not sure. For dogs, really?
Lick Pepto Bismol. I think it was. She weighs about as much as Destiny and Stick, though.
As what? Oh, it's
How much
Destiny and Stick. She's 35 pounds, so she's a little bit smaller than they are.
A little bit less, so probably about like half a milliliter.
I might do
Yeah.
that.
Using the syringe, and the syringe is a milliliter. The girl's got a full one, so probably about a half milliliter for her.
That's a good idea. I didn't realize that would work for dogs.
Yeah, when the girls
Okay.
got, like, we looked up a bunch of shit to see what would help.
Yeah. All right. So where we left off here, Arteme had run up, shot an arrow into the tentacle, one of the tentacles that was swaying back and forth in the water there. There is an immediate reaction where it yanks the tentacle back, well, at least out of view for you. It is, in fact, I'll go ahead and just, for simplicity's sake, I'll just make it invisible for a moment, but it is yanked out of view with, an arrow protruding from it. Any bonus actions or anything?
Are we already in order? Yes.
Yeah, keep the same in order, yeah.
Anyone want to run up? We can try to shoot enough of these things to clear the path. Not it!
Harold, hang on, sorry.
Take the broom, though.
As soon as I can get there, I've only got 30 feet of movement.
Understand. By the way, clumping together still might not be a great idea. Does anyone know if this thing does the mind control, or is it just the Illithids?
Well, that thing was controlling the Illithids, so probably can't.
I don't want to use my actions to do my bard song because I feel like, oh, it's not technically charmed. It's just gonna rip your legs off. Oh, okay. Good thing I was playing a song. Fuck, I just realized I'm gonna have to fly on the broom while carrying a torch. Maybe that's not gonna work. I have no other way to light these fucking bombs on fire.
I can light them if you'll make sure I don't fall off the broom.
Have we tried this before? Did us both being on the broom make it like a little bit better? I think I saved you once. I was able to like grab you or something.
Yeah.
Okay. I do have a spell slot to maybe make you invisible. Do I not have normal invisibility? Farts. No, can't make you invisible. I mean, we can try for it. I mean, at least we're falling in water, but the water's poison.
But I've already been in the water once.
Yeah. Did it fuck you up pretty bad?
No, it wasn't like damage. I think it's the disadvantage on attacks. Is what it was.
Well, I have disadvantage on my magic attacks, so I'm gonna try to get this bomb like on it. But I mean, it's not gonna. It only does 3d8 damage.
I have the bomb too.
So. I mean, we can go up. I think the best course of action is going to be. I feel like I'm going to ask Jeremy. What is this one giant rock? Like, is this going? Is this like if it falls on it? Do I think it's going to critically injure it, or is it just like the size of one of the tentacles? I feel like that's a very important because I still don't know in my mind what the size of this thing is on the ceiling.
Yeah, we also need to know roughly how long those big ass tentacles are.
Yeah.
Because if we go up and it can still grab us.
See, I feel like it's going to be able to hit us in that area. I can cast Shatter, but I'm scared that's going to hit fucking things, and then I can't really do anything to get it down besides that.
Unless we throw a bomb at it, but it could completely shatter it.
Again, then that won't do damage. Should we just try to attack it? I mean, we're within 120 feet here. Yeah, we're about 100 feet away from this spot. I've got a few things. I can try to cast something that can incapacitate it for a while, and then maybe other people can just attack the shit out of it. But I'm gonna have to roll with disadvantage, which is gonna fucking kill me.
Well, I'm guessing stuff like slow or whatever, just probably going to be nearly impossible to hit this guy with any time to go. against
Slow
that.
would be amazing.
Yeah, but slow is also a wisdom save, and I'm guessing that this guy's got incredible wisdom.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, pretty serious. So I don't really know. I mean, if it does work, it would obviously be good.
This is a charisma save. It probably has shit charisma.
Yeah.
Is it a crit? Nope. Wisdom saving throw. Farts. Double farts. It's just a level 1 spell. I kind of want to do it just for the hell of it. Good thing you could still cast Shan again, right?
Yeah, I've got one more cast.
How far can you cast him?
120 feet, so I need
Oh.
to get 50 feet closer, which I can do on the broom,
Yep.
and then I can just cast her like right on top of his head.
Nice. That's a really long range.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay.
So then Harold got sick.
Oh,
Now for him, he throws up like at least a couple times a month, and it's always just just dry or just like yellow bile looks like normal, which is normal for him. But I can't tell if it's like just a normal stomach sensitivity thing or if they both got something because they're both acting totally fine, but throwing up twice. I don't know. I'm gonna have to check the backyard and see if like maybe somebody threw something over the fence or something they got into. But that wouldn't make sense for Esther's swelling yesterday. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Anyway, all right. So back to the game here. Artemir ran up the stairs, fired the arrow. The tentacle snapped down, and then what? I know I interrupted. Fox, did I interrupt you?
No.
All right. So then I guess so. You shot the arrow. Any bonus actions or anything else then?
No, I'm just gonna back away a bit.
Okay. Then it is Norok's turn. Yeah. What are you doing, D?
Now, from where I'm at, why should I closer to from where I'm at? Can I see the elves working on those fragments or whatever on the ceiling? How far up is the ceiling?
40 feet up, and they are, above the guy. So I mean, they're about 40 to 50 feet up, and then 150 feet ahead of you.
Does this
quite
thing
a
that
distance
they're
away.
working on, is it like massive? Like if it fell on this thing, do we think it's going to critically hurt it? Or is it just like
It probably
small?
hurt it a lot. It's not as big as
Okay.
the creature is. It'd probably be. Think of a railroad spike into a human head.
Okay, so it's...
I mean, I think of that
it's-
often. I know that might be something different for you guys that you don't really, have that comparison.
Yeah.
But railroad spike into human head size.
I mean, once every couple weeks, it pops into my head. Why not?
Pardon the pun there of popped
Yeah.
into my- I wasn't even sure if that was on purpose or not, but it was pretty good. So anyway, think about that though, as far as like size comparison. It'll almost certainly do a lot of damage if it lands.
Yeah. Cool. Broom it is!
Since we're technically in combat order, are we still on normal movement speed? 40, I mean?
Yeah, you're still in initiative order.
I-
I'm specifically doing that because there are things that can happen depending on what you guys decide to do. So it doesn't appear that the warrior is doing anything as far as you've seen so far, other than the tentacles being up. And then there are creatures in the water, but you don't necessarily know if they're doing anything either. So
I don't know if I counted right, so I'm guessing if I dash, I'm probably right about there. So,
probably about there, yeah.
and then now I'm guessing I'm still probably about 80 feet away from the stalactite and the elves up there above me.
I mean, it's above him, so you're still like, let's call it about that, yeah. But it's still up too, so it's not just as simple as throwing it 80 feet straight ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's also 40 feet up, 40 to 50 feet up.
According to Pythagorean's theorem, you have, let's see, 80 squared times 50 squared equals c squared. So, all right, let's see.
Equals C squared.
I don't know. I'm not actually doing it. Just if anyone was curious.
What you doing, G?
I'm doing check.
This tentacle is
Alright,
moving along until it's nearer to you.
Okay. Now the magic missile is 120 feet. So am I within 120 feet of the rock formation?
I would say that it'd be close, but I think magic missile, even with the stick of stars, has to be a creature.
According to my math, it's 50,265 feet high. So I don't think I did that right.
Probably not. Somewhere. Yeah, it has to be a creature.
Okay. Then I am going to pass and then just try to get closer when I can and just keep an eye on that tentacle. Actually, no, I dashed. Never mind. I was going to say, can I hold my action, but I already dashed.
Yeah. All right. So the Quendi are continuing to hammer at the. Okay. Still just hammering away at it. Olowin's turn. She is just filled with frustration and anger at all of this. Is going to float up past. I'm going to say that we'll still use initiative order, but don't worry too much about distance and stuff unless you
fucking Ozzy put the staff away and then he's going to blink out again. Damn it!
Staff away.
The staff that I threw on the floor.
Okay, hang on. So that's I described it as that it looks the shape of the staff in that the staff has the snakes around it, but it's only about a foot long.
Oh, okay.
In fact, so one of you knows. Well, one of you has.
Could I put it in my bag?
Oh, you could have, but you threw it on the ground.
My bad.
Becky,
I thought it was a big staff.
Becky, you remember that, right?
Yeah, actually, as soon as you said it, I started going back in my notes and I found it.
Okay, yeah, so that's exactly what it is. It's the same thing. Now, you were the only one that saw that, and you put it in a pocket, and nobody else knows about it, so you're the only one that would have recognized it, but you did not see Pogo throw it on the ground, so you wouldn't have noticed that there's two of these things.
I would have if Ozzy had picked it up, because at the time, I was up over here.
Yeah, he did pick it up. And you
yeah,
said
he did
we
pick
didn't
it up,
have time for it.
Yeah, so if you would have been looking at him, then I would say, okay, then you did see him grab it and put it in a pocket of his robe.
I'm assuming I would have, heard it hit the ground and looked at it.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't have seen Pogo. That was the thing. The reason that I said that is because Pogo was invisible, and he threw it on the ground, and Ozzy immediately reached down, grabbed it, put it in his pocket. So if you would have been staring at Ozzy at the time, then sure. But anyway, so Olowin floats up. So as far as movement, guys, let's not worry about that too much at the moment unless you get out towards the water. Norak, about where you are is any further than that, and the ground gets really slippery because of the kind of viscosity of the water. Okay. It won't be necessarily difficult terrain, but depending on movement, you might have to make dex saves to keep from falling over or getting knocked down, that kind of stuff. But up on the area where Olowin and Pogo and Artemehar are, it's not, the water didn't get up there. So she is up there and kind of floating above the rampart there, and kind of just holding her hands out like she's preparing to do something. That is it for her turn. Pogo's turn.
I'm going to cast Vicious Mockery on tentacle number 9. And
you can still see 14. I'll make 14 visible right in front of you.
Oh, he's still there?
Well, it dipped down when it got hit by the arrow, and then kind of is just below the wall a little bit. But if you're looking between the ramparts, you can still see it because you're right in front of it.
Actually, what's the Vicious Mockery distance? Double check. Doodle-doo. Yeah, it's only 60 feet. Yeah, I'll go ahead and cast. I'll just peek up around and cast Vicious Mockery on this tentacle directly in front of me.
Okay. They don't have to. It doesn't matter if they have any level of intelligence or anything, right?
No, actually, come to think of it, it does have to. Okay, string of insults laced with subtle enchantments. A creature you can see, if the target can hear you, though it does not need to understand you.
You know what's funny is I actually just saw a meme about that.
So I'm thinking I'd probably realize that a tentacle is not going to be able to fucking hear me.
Yeah, I mean, you would if as long as the creature, because okay, so you asked the question earlier if these are separate creatures. As far as the combat tracker is concerned, yes, but the ears would still be on.
Yeah, so it's not gonna be able to hear me. So I think Pogo would understand. He'd look around. He'd look over, look at this tentacle, and see that it doesn't have like a face or ears.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my action to hide for right now.
Okay. All right, then you duck back down behind the wall there, making yourself as small as possible. And then we...
Not great.
as far as as far as the perception, that would be coming from the creature that technically can't see you directly at the moment anyway. Although that doesn't mean that it doesn't know where you are, because of course it saw you duck down. All right. Ozzy did the kind of not transparent. He looks normal to you guys, but he's not physically there clearly. Hence, it looked a little bit different to Pogo earlier too. By the way, he says, "What is the plan? We need to do something. Slings and arrows are going to take care of this. So what are we doing?"
Well, if we could get to that thing up there, and I'm just gonna like from behind the thing just point up, maybe that'll do some damage to it. And when we have these, I'm gonna pull a bomb out of the bag, put that back in. So if you want to like float over there and drop these all in its mouth, be my guest.
I can't exactly float at the moment.
Our problem too.
And he looking up at the thing though. He'd still be able to tell. Looking at it, you guys all know this too. That will not be enough to kill him. You can't imagine that it would. So you're going to need to do something. He tells you as much, essentially. He says that even if they can manage that, we're still going to have to do something.
Okay, but is taking the broom and dropping the bombs on it
Each do 3d8.
dynamite, would that
Each one does 3d8.
How many bombs do we have total?
Launder has 7, Norok has 4, and each of you have 1.
All right.
But even then, like, it's big, and you guys saw the blast of those bombs is not that devastating. It wasn't even enough to kill one of the Illithid. So, like, you've seen it that all of these things will work. For sure, they're going to hurt it, but they're not going to kill it. It's going to take more than that.
What if we take the bag up, light one, drop it in the bag, and just drop the bag right on top of it?
That's what I'm thinking. So we have how many? 10? We have 10 total. So 10 bombs. If we can get 10 bombs to explode at him, that's 30 d8 damage.
Well, I mean, they wouldn't quite be additive like that, but I would say that I would go ahead and give you that would give you that. I would tell you, yeah, you can do the full. Basically, if you're the bombs would have diminishing returns.
Yeah.
They don't all add together that way as far as real world, but I would say go ahead that you can have the full 30 d8.
Well,
if you pull that off.
I don't know if it works, but if we drop the rock on him first, maybe we can stun him and then be able to drop all the bombs in unison in a vital spot.
That's a good idea.
Or something.
Or how about the giant hole that the rock makes, hopefully?
Yeah. There we go. And is that railroad spike hole?
Yep.
maybe?
All right,
But
that's
how
my
are we
plan.
going to get them there?
Broom!
But someone's gonna have to make sure that I don't fall off a broom.
I'm on it.
I can light them.
All right.
Make sure I'm-
Okay, so
We need
do we still have any
everyone
rope
else.
left? We could always tie her to the broom.
Still who?
True.
Do we have any
Tie her to
rope
the broom.
left? We could
Tie
tie
who to the
her
broom?
to the broom.
Tie me
Well,
to the broom.
I think the problem is like she's gonna lose grip and fall, and as soon as she loses grip, the broom just starts falling.
Do me a favor, guys. One of you pick, and I want you to roll a percentile dice for me. So who's going to roll it? Fox has been rolling real good. Well, I don't know. You've been rolling real good all of a sudden, Fox.
Fine, I could try.
Yeah,
How
go
do you do the percentage guys?
So the third one from the left, the D10. The third one from the left, you right-click on that. And then you'll see in the top left corner, you'll see a percentile symbol. And when you click at that, it'll give you 2 dice, and then just drop that in the chat box.
I'm seeing times 2, 3 to 20, but no percentage.
Then you're on the wrong one. So it'll be the third one from the left. So the
I
left.
just do it. I just want to do it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I
I'm
found it.
doing it.
Okay.
Then You guys taking a while here to kind of formulate a plan here with the kind of beginning to shimmer version of Ozzy, beginning to kind of glow this purplish form around him. It's Recondidus, it's arcane magic that's surrounding him, because he's not really here, as you guys could tell. You guys have gathered this since Sarah tried to poke him. But while you are trying to figure this out and figure out what your plan is here, you hear a choking sound coming from Oluwin. Pogo, you're eye level or eye line to her because she's floating up a little bit. You can see straight behind the altar to where she is. Artemis, you can see her as well from where you are. Norok, that wall is too tall, so you can't see her. Sarah, up the stairs just barely. You can probably just barely pick her up because she's floating a little bit. But you see her lift up off the ground a little bit higher. You see her close her eyes, groans in pain, arching her back as if she's like in immense pain. And then her neck snaps backward. Her eyes burst open again, and they're emitting that same radiant beam of that purplish red glow.
Oluwin, we lost her. She's not with us anymore.
She lowers her eyes back down in a gaze in looks in Pogo's direction. Looks in Pogo's direction. Looks over towards Artemis. And she opens her mouth, and you hear a voice that is clearly not hers. And she says, "Rudimentary creatures, accept submission or accept destruction."
You.
She looks at you. It's clearly not her. You know, she's not in control of herself at this moment. She looks at you just dispassionately, like there's no emotional response at all.
And I flip her off.
No.
She looks at you, and she says, "You said the same the last time we had this conversation, but your confidence is born of ignorance."
Well, I'm born of ignorance, and I don't care.
Wait, what do you mean last time?
Probably like whenever I talk to any of these things in this whole thing. We've spoken to a lot of these creatures, ish.
She looks in your direction. She says, specifically at Pogo, like looking at Pogo, she says, you personally, you were better prepared the last time we had this conversation. Less afraid, I think, too. Do you remember?
Oh, boy. Do I remember?
No.
Are you the pixie? What is happening here? Who are you? Who are you?
Okay, this is Pogo?
Yeah, this is Pogo. Who are you?
We are
What's
the
your
Vanguard.
name? The Vanguard?
Yeah, Vanguard. Do you know what a Vanguard is? Like
isn't that like a King's Guard?
No, the Vanguard is the front of an army.
Oh, okay.
The first group you send in an army, they're called a spear point or a vanguard. That's what so she's saying that she said we are the vanguard. We're like the first of an army, essentially, is what she's saying.
And by you, do you mean you? And then I'm gonna point to the big squid thing out in the water.
She doesn't. She's giving you the same look and no change whatsoever. But you gather that that's what she means. It's so that by the eyes, by the control that's happening here, you are quite certain that it is him controlling her now, the same way that he had controlled, the Illithids and the guys up top and so on.
Well, is there anything I could say to maybe persuade you to leave us all alone and leave this island? No one wants you here. This is not a safe environment for a creature like you. Maybe try your way up the coast, like 500-600 miles. Clearly, this is just going to keep happening. You don't want this to keep happening, right? Why don't you go try somewhere else?
She says, you will choose subjugation or you will return to the wheel.
The wheel? Stop.
Those are your options.
Return to the wheel? I'm not gonna... Is that like a sex thing? What are we...
Anybody doing anything? I'm telling you, you don't have long. It's clear that this is like there's a tension that is escalating coming from like
I'm just
from the
gonna cast vicious mockery on Oluwin.
Alright.
As they're having this conversation, I am moving forward.
Okay, go ahead and move your. So this all lasted about 15 seconds. So you guys have had enough time to move 2 rounds worth, let's say. So go ahead and move yourselves wherever you would be.
60. No, that's 50.
And as soon as you're about to cast Vicious Mockery at her, she says, "This exchange is over," and she holds a hand out in your direction, about to attack you. Go ahead and make your attack roll for Vicious Mockery.
Just did disadvantage because I got a hole in my head that's gushing still.
Well, she failed still. She got a 10 out of 16. So let me flip her.
And I'm just gonna look at her and say, "You know what? I never thought you were cute, and I always thought you were gonna do this, and I knew the whole time. So
For real? No exaggeration at all. That would not have happened if you guys didn't take so long. You guys were taking so long that he had the opportunity that he didn't have anything else to control around here other than to send like one of his weaker minions, and she was the stronger one, so he chose that instead.
Well, we had a plan, and then someone brought up rope, and I'm just, let's just go do this."
Well, you were taking a long time, even to come up with the dropping the bombs. That's a great plan. It's just nobody was moving or doing anything yet, so. It is Ozzy's turn.
Hold on, I have to give her the effects real quick.
Oh shit! I was thinking it was 9/18, so you don't need your pills yet. All right, yeah, go ahead and drop that on her then, because she did fail. So I changed her to red, so you guys can target her now as needed.
We need to take Olwen out fast, and then we'll go with that other plan.
Ozzy, coming up the steps, you can see that like his physical form is beginning to fade a little bit, like he's starting to lose some of his. That's also part of it too, is you guys didn't move very fast, and he doesn't have very long, so you'll be losing his help soon too. Hopefully, you can manage before then. But coming up the steps, he does turn in her direction and begin just launching out bolts of lightning at her. He shouts, "You couldn't have come with better friends," which she succeeded, so it'll be half damage.
The wolf guy's pretty good.
You tell him. What's that? Low on
friends here.
All right, Sarah's turn.
Right, so we're taking out all first.
Shane's gone, right? You didn't bring her back, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna need to first take out the giant thing above, but we're gonna have to get the bombs first, at least most of them. I've got one.
I've got one.
We need to swing back and get the rest from the Wolfman back there.
And Norak has 4.
And
but I mean, if Norak's going out there, he might be able to launch them at the guy too.
Yeah.
So you guys can handle it.
Let's let Norak keep those for right now. Let's have a smaller basket in case another basket sucks.
In fact, actually, you guys don't probably know. Well, you may have seen him walk that direction, but you haven't seen Norak for the last 20 seconds since Olwen started shouting, so you don't really know what's going on with Norak at the moment.
Great, so I'm going to yell at Launder that we need those vagabonds, and then... Shit, how do I want to do this? Okay. 35 feet, God. Yeah. Alright. Well, now, why does it go from 35 to 5 for 1 square? There.
Huh?
It looks like... Oh, no, that's just the way the floor looks. Never mind.
Yeah, the floor is a little confusing. I had this problem on our maps, too, where I was like, fucking, there's a grid on the floor, but not on the whole floor, so then you gotta add a grid.
Yeah, so what happens here is that sometimes when people draw these maps, they draw them with an intent of having a grid already on it. But when you use a virtual tabletop, those grids are intended like if you print it, or if you're playing on a TV or something. But if you're using a virtual tabletop with an actual grid, it's fucking pain in the ass trying to get them lined up. So I try, and then they never line up quite like I'd like them to. So sorry, guys.
All right, so we're gonna cast light, I guess, on Olwen.
Okay. She succeeded. She got an 18 or a 19 plus 1 for a total of 20. I think that's still half, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
All right. Well, half of 36. That's still a good hit. 18.
Great.
So she is still floating there, eyes still glowing. You can see these cracks beginning to appear in her skin of this kind of purplish energy, the same color as the lights coming out of her eyes, and the rotten leaves settle on her skin and begin to burn through. She looks down and kind of like hissing and clearly in pain by this.
Great. So I am hopping on the broom and I am holding on to the rod, but I'm just not. I'm like.
You're still shadow skin, so you still have both hands.
Yeah, so, but I'm just barely floating above the ground, so Polo can jump on.
Okay.
So
right.
I'll,
Is that if your turn then?
Yeah.
Then it is Launder's turn. He looks up and is just kind of stammering almost. He says, okay, on my way, and he runs as fast as he can. You to see him kind of leaning forward and all fours, just launching himself through the air with his haunches. He can make it 60 feet with a dash, so he can make it up to the stairs here, coming in your direction. I would say that it's probably a little bit scary of a sight because he's still pretty big. He's kind of spindly, but he's big. Just kind of bestial shape, launching himself up the stairs toward you. That's as far as he can make it. Bonus action. Nobody's injured that he can see. That's it. He's just focused on trying to get to you. Actually, sorry, which one was that? That is 9. Okay. Norok, you stepping onto the scaffolding out here that is floating up and down, by the way. Like, as the waves move up and down, it's kind of there's pontoons beneath it, so it's staying on the surface of the water the way that like a dynamic wharf would, if you know what I'm talking about. So anyways, it elevates a little bit, so it kind of moves up and down a little bit under your feet, and it is very slippery because of the kind of viscous water that's on it. But the tentacle that is nearby you is going to reach out and then try to just smack across, like, over your shoulders and your head for a 21, which hits. 2d8 bludgeoning. And give me a dex save, G. You take half damage from it, so it would have been 9 damage there that you took. Okay. It smacks you across the head, and your feet kind of begin to slip out from under you, and you have to kind of right yourself to catch it just in time. The tentacle spins back around. It looks like it's about to try to grapple you, but that is it for its turn. So basically, if it succeeds, then it can try to grapple you as well, but you were moved. All right. Then... he's still... Yeah, he's going to choose to keep controlling Olowin for now. Artemis' turn.
I just now realized that I'm pretty sure me playing my little bardic thing may have kept her from getting controlled. Well, maybe not, because she was already part of the creature. Yeah, never mind.
So they're well, shit. You know what? Actually, now that I think about it, is it anybody, even if they're hostile, that are nearby you?
See, that's the tricky part, because this isn't really. This is like, because he can only control the creatures that he's already. You know, like only certain types.
I mean, I'll go ahead and tell you. No, it's not just certain types. It's specifically creatures that have had that tadpole inserted into their brain.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it's not only them. That's just the default one that he can actually physically control. He can still charm and do enslave. I think. He has other effects too.
Well, it looks like someone's gonna have to deal with a little bit of pogo singing on the back of this fucking thing.
You can be able to come onto me and play a banjo?
No, I can just sing. I chose to play the banjo.
Yeah, the banjo was just for fun.
Yeah. Acapella, acapogo.
What was that, Fox?
What?
What'd you say, Fox?
Oh, I'm gonna use Stone Whip.
Okay. What are you hitting?
Olin.
Okay. You've got a werewolf in the way at the moment. Gonna move around him. He's going to bowl right through you if he keeps moving, but at least for now, you can definitely step in front of him as he's running up the stairs. I mean, so realistically, he's he's like here, basically, while you're doing that. He's still running on his way, so you have time to make your attack, and then he'll be in the way. But you're back to rolling like Fox again, because that did not make it. Any bonus actions?
I'm going to use magic.
Okay. Shit, that was the one that you create 2 stones that you can throw or use a sling with, right?
Pebbles. 1, 2, 3. I can do 3 of them.
There you go. All right. Okay. So you grabbing the whip off your mimic whip and throwing it out with the thorns on the end of it, trying to grab onto Olowin. She just deftly spins to the side, still glowing enough to miss it. You reach into your pocket and begin to heat up these stones in your other hand. That is it for your turn. Any more movement?
Nope. This one?
Ben, I assume he's having audio issues at the back.
Yeah, he said I'll restart.
Okay. I'm going to send him that other laptop, so he'll actually be able to, keep use the laptop for audio again instead of his phone. It'll be a little easier for him. Anything else then, Fuck? All right, G.
No.
All right, then it is Nork's turn. All right, so real quick, guys, how you haven't? I guess I'll put it to you this way: you guys have not injured the big guy really at all. I mean, literally at all. You've hurt his tentacles a little bit, and he's got a lot of hit points. And we're coming up on time here in a few minutes. So, how do you guys want to do this?
I say stop it now before we start getting into this.
Okay, then everybody else agree?
Yeah.
Resume from here next week then. All right, I was hoping to finish up. Then we'll start with your turn next week, so you're not going to lose anything here. I was hoping to finish up this so that we could start the migration next week, but I think what we'll do is, because this theoretically, well, it could end in a TPK. So if you guys all die in the first 15 minutes or something, that'll be great.
That'll be easy.
Yeah, then it'll be, then we can start the Foundry test. So either way, though, this will either end in your TPK or maybe it's death or whatever else you guys figure out. But it won't be like a whole session's worth of time. So maybe next week what we'll plan on is we'll finish this and then we can start up a Foundry and like get everybody imported and play around with it a little bit. Sound good?
Yup.
All right. That was fun, guys.
That was pretty rough.
It's probably the hardest fight you guys have had so far because like you had a lot of bad luck. You guys don't.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was
Yeah.
bad luck on our part. Like I was oof.